tíralo, golpéelo, espálelo, saturáralo.
Vamos DJ, vamos DJ, vamos DJ, vamos DJ, vamos DJ, vamos DJ.
Ya mismo, ya mismo.
And we're back! Hello and welcome. It has been quite some time. We have hopefully been able to fix all the issues, so don't worry about that. And we're just about to hop back into the matchup for some more hot plays, whether those be on the May, the map. We've seen quite a lot of incredible plays. We've also seen, you know, a little bit of cheeky ultimate usage there out of Luca on the Sigma so far. It's quite the curious matchup, I will say, but really looking forward to it. Murph, who you looking out for?
I'm looking to see if Absabust can come back and smack Timeless across the face for that honestly disrespectful hold on Elio's Lighthouse. I mean, listen, you're up 1-1 on the first opening map of the semifinals, and you get held to your spawn. Not only do you get held to your spawn, you get ulted in spawn, and I would not take that lying down. I'll tell you what, I would be swinging for the fences. I would be looking to make a name for myself as we take a look into the next map, which is going to be Midtown.
Midtown? I mean, Midtown has been a little bit of a graveyard situation for quite a few teams. I mean, that has gone back and forth, namely Atlantic Esports come to mind, who initially almost got eliminated there and then kind of managed to bring it back. But you know what they say. Wins aren't given, they're earned, so if you don't want to get ulted in spawn, I guess it's time to get going and show up. That said, I say that like Azerbust didn't have their own standout performances initially. I do think they have a realistic chance of taking this one, bringing it back. They just have to come together as a team again, which is something that we saw really well out of Timeless Obsidian. They just played together absolutely miraculously, just really good coordination in the sense that they moved as a unit, they were able to punish as a unit, and consequently, you know, that additional peel in order to keep Super Gomez alive, which just wasn't a given.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, true. Abs they do have some stellar performers on that team. Super Gomez, as we mentioned before, really solid Junker Queen and Sigma. Ryan Mazing and Kurova. Ryan Mazing doing has been a phenomenal. Genji, those blades come in clutch, get 2 to 3 every single time. I mean, I very rarely do you ever see Ryan Mazing ever get shut down mid blade. We'll just say that much. He's been very consistent with that blade usage. Kurova, sound barriers have come in, been absolutely wonderful, been absolutely clutch for AfterBuzz. So we know they have the power. We know they have the ability to make this one back. There is no doubt about that. And I think on Midtown's going to be a really good one because of that Junker Queen. Now, I've seen it happen a few times where the Junker Queen pulls in a DPS right across that subway line, and as soon as they get through that tunnel, it's game over. It's Gover. It's done. You get pulled over across the corner. The JQ is able to take a swing to the axe at you, and you bite the dust. And so I think this is a really good, option here for the side of AfterBuzz, and I can definitely see the appeal for this Junker Queen comp.
I love that you said, you know, we basically never see Ryan Mazing get shut down when he tries to blade. All I want is, like, you saying that and then, like, a 3-minute compilation of every time Ryan Mazing has died during a blade. Just everything, just him, like, getting hit by a rock or getting fluxed or getting headshot or you fucking name it, I don't care, but I think that would be great content. That said, I mean, you're of course correct. We have seen quite a few comps played. Then again, I think Junker Queen might struggle a little bit on Midtown because it has quite long sightlines actually, and especially if we're talking about teams that do play a lot of that Sigma Bastion, we're talking about a potentially huge amount of damage coming through. We did see Dynasty is more than willing to bring out the devil, and if you're gonna push into a Bastion Sigma and then a wall ends up behind you, I mean, you know, I've seen quite a few dead people in my days, but that is hella dead. I mean, yeah, we're talking about the resurrect won't bring you back at that point.
No. That's actually a glitch. So if you kill somebody after walling them off while running Sigma Bastion, Mercy Res doesn't function. That's factual. That's true. I digress. The point still stands though. Timeless, if they do want to continue running this with the Mei from with the Mei and the Sigma as well, I could see definitely for sure this could be quite a rough one for AfterBuzz to sort of walk through. Now, Ilios, like I said, it went 2-1. Timeless was able to pull this one back. But like I said, I don't believe AfterBuzz is going to take this one lying down, and I think they definitely have a reasonable strategy, an idea as to why they want to pick Midtown. Maybe they match on that Sigma. Maybe they go with the Sigma Bastion. We know Super Gomez is really good on it. We know they have the DPS to sort of pull that one back. But I digress. AfterBuzz certainly have a plan, and I can't wait to see it come through.
I mean, absolutely. I do think we're also looking at a very, I do want to say, flexible team, or flexible teams in general, which are able to adapt, and that's what a lot of these matches are about. It's not about rolling out with the perfect comp off the bat. Like, sure, you do have some of these meta comps that you want to focus and build your team around, but at the same time, if you realize you're not living up to the mirror matchup, what can you change to gain that advantage? And I think levering those advantages that you do have as a team is something that we've seen pretty much every successful team do in this tournament already. It's not always down to playing the meta, it's down to playing something you know how to play and playing it in a way that grants you that advantage to your individually preferred playstyles. Now, Timeless Obsidian, you know, they're rolling out with pretty much the meta composition. I mean, we do have Dynasty on the Sojourn as well as Lukewarm, and maybe a bit of an overclock duel could be looking very interesting. Differences here on Red, obviously with the Lucio, do have the speed boost available, but neutral on the Zenyatta. We have seen him pop off on the Kiriko already, so might be looking to dish out an absolutely lethal amount of damage here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at that already. Timeless Obsidian, they're using the high ground here to sort of apply more pressure on AfterBuzz as they force their way through. Very nice rocket being applied. So much damage to Super Gomez. The immortality is forced to get popped there. Timeless right back on their perch of doom. As look at the damage coming through. Super Gomez not getting a full break, and what a rotation coming. Actually, they're swapping sides. They're looking for the back line of AfterBuzz. AfterBuzz going to be rotating around to the point, knowing that that's
the pick of the Kurova neutral.
Yeah. that's gonna be game. That was very well played there from that Timeless with that Lucio speed rotation, and AbsRBust gonna be falling here. Granted, I stand Lukewarm if I can pick up 2. That will be it though.
I mean, Lukewarm will go out with a bang, but he will go out regardless. And I wasn't thinking they were going to catch him in the rotation, but that's exactly where Unread on the Lucio comes in. If they didn't have that additional speed, they weren't going to catch out the supports in time. But just like that, they were able to rotate around, connect that rock coming through onto a Korova, and consequently, things just spiral out of control from there because that Zenyatta does need the peel in order to be kept alive. Look at that re-engage now, able to come through, will try to create some additional pressure, and again, the Mortality Field already having been eroded, a couple of bot shots coming through, as you're going to see the Amp Matrix move up as well. Amazing still holding in a bit of a cheeky position here. Slot though is going to be the first one to fall, will be followed by Korova, but again, it looks like the rest of Timeless Obsidian are crumbling within the blink of an eye. Super Gomez certainly proving why he is no mere Gomez.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very interesting rotation there at a Timeless. They were trying to sort of, I guess, wait for AbsRBust to sort of overexpose themselves, trying to get that point captured. And regardless, as soon as AbsRBust were able to sort of come together as a group and force Timeless into that open space, they were able to split apart and pick off the certain members required in order to continue fighting that space. So AbsRBust are going to get the first point captured here as we move into this next fight. The ultimate's coming online for either side as I'm looking at particular Super Gomez in this flux.
Yeah, that certainly is going to be an absolutely dangerous ability to utilize, especially as Unread doesn't quite have the beat just yet. Look at that overclock going to come through as well. Super Gomez though, shut down already. Slot just gunning right through him, will be taken down by the blade though, as we're going to see Transcendence and the beat both get committed. Ultimates just flying around the place with Pandora's box having been firmly open. Unfortunately not for AbsRBust, it would seem that 3 ultimates simply are not enough to decide the fight in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, what a beautiful, spray down there from the side of Sloth. I don't think Super Gomez was quite expecting to get absolutely pub stomped in the middle of their ultimate. We had the Transcendence try to sort of stabilize the rest of the HP, and Amazing pulled the blade to find his value, but the sound barrier response there from the side of Unread, who's been doing a really good job at maintaining Timeless's rotations and their stability throughout this fight. Sloth picking up neutral is going to crack this one open once again. AbsRBust going to hit the reset, but Timeless, Unread playing an absolute critical part in maintaining their hold there.
Absolutely, and just look at Amazing looking for a little bit of a sneaky way to get into the matchup here. We're looking at an overclock as well as an amplification matrix, which could be an absolutely deadly combination. In the meantime, though, Sloth's going to pop up the configuration artillery just in order to get a little bit of a snipe here. This not that much that can be done about surviving that. Fortunately enough, it would seem they are going to keep each other alive. The overclock pops up, Lukewarm takes down Keith already. Massive first pick moving up here is going to be this little more hope for Luca to stay alive here. Does get eliminated, and just as swiftly the rest of the team will follow. AbsRBust opening up with another explosive fight win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, realistically, as good as Unread has been as about these rotations and about using those sub-barriers to keep the rest of the team alive, the Lucio is not going to do enough whenever it comes to the absolute focus fire AbsRBust to keep the rest of the team alive. And so when Keith gets picked up like that, Lukewarm having really fantastic target focus and the ability to find their target, they do eventually get found, and Timeless are forced to fall. What a nice flux there. But once again, Supernova gets picked off with very little bit of a surprise there coming for the Tracer. Now still the stuck room, a really awkward and split fight. The blade comes through from the side of Amazing, gonna be able to pick up on Red from the side of Timeless, and AbsRBust, they continue finding a little bit of pressure, but Amazing falls once again, and I'm curious as to what's really the game plan here. AbsRBust looks like they're going to be disengaging eventually.
I mean, we're looking at a huge ultimate advantage for Timeless Obsidian right now. They're holding on to 3 ultimates. Still trade out Korova there for a Dynasty. Then again, you are probably going to prefer to have your Baptiste over your Sojourn and push comes to shove. Then again, you might lose both. Ooh, nasty takedown onto Amazing there. And again, that's why you don't mess with a Baptiste, because these guys know exactly how to aim. Just a little bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing there. At this point, we're still looking at the overclock, we're still looking at the beat drop readily available, and that beat, it will probably be more than sufficient in order to try and make up for whatever Super Gomez is looking to find with that flux.
Yep, and the flux, it shall be used here to sort of flush out this high ground. The December does come through to keep whoever did get picked up alive, and the overclock comes through from the side of Dynasty, can be able to find one from the side of Lukewarm, and the Sojourn putting out so much damage. Granted, Riot Amazing is there to try to pressure them out as well, but they have the peel available on Red is there to sort of boot the Genji away to sort of make them scared, and eventually that'll be Super Gomez falling once again. Abs are bust. They're not able to find value they need, and we're down to the last 30 seconds here, and the tools available to Abs or Bust are also limited. Super Gomez is going to be swapping over to the Orisa for this final fight.
I mean, certainly it is looking rough around the edges here in terms of ultimates, though Abs or Bust have made good headway. Super Gomez does also have the Fortify, which means he will be able to stay on the point, even though he is bound to get fluxed to bind Luca here. Asloth also having that sticky might be able to make that difference. Transcendence just about to come online, so massive ultimate rule for Abs or Bust now building that they do have to utilize in order to come through. Look at that Sloth just peering on the edges. He's looking for that pickup on the Zenyatta. Flux comes through, and so does the engage. Still the Lukewarm, despite Transcendence, gets picked up through that flux, but Sloth just gets absolutely ham-fisted by Kurova, who says he's down, but certainly not out. And yet again, the cart is continuing to progress just that little bit by bit. Another blade out of Riot Amazing. Again, on Red goes down. Keith will fall. Dynasty barely not able to hold on here, has been eroded, and at this point, the only person left alive is Luki's completely out of position, will be shut down, and now it's all down to the stall. Timeless Obsidian, they do surrender, and the second point will go the way of Abs or Bust.
Yep, now we've got 90 seconds here on point 2, as Crow was actually able to pick up on Red, and the stagger there for the side of Abs or Bust can allow them to buy a little bit more space, as they were able to split apart Timeless once again. We see this. Abs or Bust, they're so good at causing chaos in the middle of the fight, especially with the backline pressure from the side of Kurova and Riot Amazing. Just, you know, sort of pulling away the attention from Timeless, forcing out resources where resources aren't supposed to be used. Now we're looking at a minute on the clock here as we're getting around this first corner. Timeless going to be looking to stop this one as Sloth has that false bomb. Neutral does go down from the side of YouTube Luka. That is going to be a massive pick, as now we just have Kurova maintaining any pressure they can. Ramazing is able to take out Sloth and Trey, but now no supports online from the side of Abs or Bust as this rotation comes in through from the Sigma. That's another nice rock there from the side of Lukewarm, and that will be Abs or Bust taking this one back with 30 seconds of the clock.
Yeah, I mean, that's still technically alright for... Oh god, that should still technically be alright for Timeless Obsidian. Unfortunately, Abs or Bust not quite as lucky. I mean, losing Super Gomez there with so little time left on the clock is actually going to be a very tough pill to swallow, especially considering the absolutely massive ult bank that is currently mounting for Timeless Obsidian. And should Abs or Bust be able to touch here, it is hell and fire are sure to ensue, as Timeless Obsidian are more than prepared to open up Pandora's box here and unleash nothing short of the apocalypse. Look at that, he gets dropped. There goes the overclock again, goes in aggressively. What truly can Riot Amazing do? But look on in absolute shock. Dynasty shuts them down as well. The Transcendence will not save him. The instant pick on the Lukewarm is all down to Neutral and Kurova, but they too are merely a drop of water in an absolutely infernal hellscape.
Yep. I mean, that's a pretty darn good way to put it there, my friend. I just, you know, Abs or Bust, they sort of fell apart, especially on the second point attack. I mean, Timeless are doing such a good job at maintaining their stability. Abs or Bust not really able to find any of that sort of room to pressure out Timeless, as we see this just constant sort of togetherness from Timeless Obsidian, just constantly being able to stay together. They're going to constantly able to sort of rotate themselves around, keep their backline alive, and it eventually snowballed, right? Abs or Bust was never really able to maintain the resources required to burst through what Timeless was constantly getting value out of.
Yeah, I mean, Timeless Obsidian just looking so powerful in the neutral. Of course, we can't forget that there is considerable advantages to the defensive positioning of Midtown as well. So naturally, that lends itself to those poke comms just being able to hold that high ground so efficiently time and time again. In the end, Abs or Bust, they did greatly profit of being able to win that one crucial fight in order to at least enable second point, 43 meters on third point. Obviously, it's not what you're hoping for, it's not what you're looking to achieve, but in terms of progress that can be obtained, it's not a catastrophe.
Yeah, I mean certainly doable here with the side of Absirbust if they really pull their pants up by the straps and figure out exactly how to run against this timeless sloth over here on the Bastion. I think Absirbust are gonna be pretty well poised here to sort of deal with this.
I mean, I'm going to be interested to find out if they will be. Certainly, Timeless Obsidian, having shown that they're more than willing and able to adapt it, of course, have shown an incredible individual prowess just when it comes to very much so hard skill and mechanics. That said, the pressure is, of course, mounting as well as Luca is trying to find its way through the front line, just walking it. What a cheeky off angle. Oh, Lukewarm barely not getting the pick up on it. Barely not getting the pick up on a keep there, but Dynasty will be the first one to fall. And look at that, Ryan Mazing, absolutely no fear whatsoever, trying to push in aggressively. Soft there, taken down by Karova as well. Ryan Mazing still on that off angle, thinking about maybe that cheeky pick on the Lucio. Of course, will not be able to commit as he does not have the dash to commit there anyway. And it is looking like at least the first fight will be held by Absirbust.
Yeah, Lukewarm able to pick off that Immortality Field and what was going to be the lifeline of Timeless, right, with Keith on that Baptiste. Sort of just fell apart. Absirbust was able to press W without having to worry about the sustain from Timeless, and we're able to get the picks off required with them. Now look at this rotation here on the left-hand side. Once again, using that Lucio speed from the side of Unread to sort of get around in these kind of uncomfortable positions for Absirbust. All against the Ryan isn't even to take down spots with a very nice right-click follow-up on the side of Lukewarm, and then the pressure is still going on. Without that Bastion, you don't have a lot of DPS pressure to sustain yourself, and they will be retreating here in this back left corner.
Yeah, the problem is, it is of course hard, incredibly hard to dislodge them for Absirbust, right? But at the same time, the question is how exactly are Timeless Obsidian going to profit off of this? We'll go aggressive. Flux now going to try to come through. Mortality Field has been committed, as well as we're actually going to see the pickup and come through onto the Airco here. Has been disposed already. Now Soldier dropping as well for Absirbust, actually looking like Timeless Obsidian will be able to profit. And there he goes again. Dynasty able to shut down Super Gomez as Karova falls, and at long last, it would seem like, despite not being matched up with their Bastion, Timeless Obsidian, they're going to be able to come out of their hiding hole swinging.
Yeah, this one's incredibly interesting to me. We see the Flux come through for the side of Absirbust and the Amplification Matrix, used there as well. Timeless, they didn't press a single Q and yet found it incredibly difficult to follow up through with that pressure that Super Gomez had put down with the Flux. I don't know if it was a miss of the ultimate, but regardless, Timeless Obsidian able to pull their, like I said, pull it up by the strap and sort of find that attack there. Now this Flux is going to be able to find at least one. Going to be able to pick
that
up
is the end of Karova if I've seen one. Holy shit,
Mortality
but
Field.
the peel is there. I mean, just look at how beautiful the peel for Karova was. There was every right in the world for him to die there. Still, he was able to be kept alive. Consumer Rush now popped up to neutral as well. Going to see the aggressive engage out of Lukewarm come through. He's on the prowl. Will not be able to find anything just yet. As in the meantime, though, there's another man wreaking havoc, and it's Luca absolutely tearing through. And somehow, despite committing the Consumer Rush, their abs or bust are coming up bust. And once again, it is the Timeless Obsidian that beats on their butt.
Yeah, we're seeing this once more. I believe it was last time we were able to cast together. There was, oh my goodness, they're not able to touch. The point gets captured, and that's going to be a massive time bank here to come into the third point. And they only need to get around this first corner. Now Luca's able to pick off Ryan Mazing, and the stackers are going to keep coming through here beside the Absirbust. Lukewarm activates the overclock, but does get singled out a little bit. And Mortality Field's going to be there to keep them alive, as Lukewarm's going to be finding any pick they can. Karova's able to pick up Luca. Lukewarm's able to pick up Keith, and what could have looked really bad there for the side of Absirbust, will eventually get stabilized. But still, once again, Timeless Obsidian, they have this sort of snowball effect with their ultimates available to them.
I mean, we're looking at a very, very tough hold for Absirbust right now. 4 minutes is a huge time bank to achieve what Timeless Obsidian have to go for here. I mean, they basically just have to push it one corner. This is a one-team fight away from the win, and the spawns are actually in favor of Timeless Obsidian. Now, we're probably going to see some ultimates get popped up here. Dynasty with one big blizzard could actually already deny the contest. There is going to be a beat available as well, so the support ultimate's massive. We're looking at 4, almost 5 ultimates ready to bust out in this fight for Timeless Obsidian, who match up the movement. Look at that, Flux comes through. The beat gets dropped in the backline in order to protect from the blade. Will not be able to find anything. Neutral instantly disposed of, and with Super Gomez gone down, it is a slaughterhouse, and Timeless Obsidian reigns supreme.
Yeah, it was absolutely very, very well executed. I mean, really, Timeless Obsidian, they just got more value out of those ultimates. They were just able to find the additional pressure that they needed. Abs or bust, anytime they tried to make a play itself, it felt like it was a little too late, or it felt like it just rarely ever went through. And Timeless, they just found the better value. They were able to sort of snowball their effects. They came in blazing with that many ultimates in the 4-minute time bank. And yes, while Abs or bust had the ultimates to respond, it was too late. Timeless, they were able to just sort of flank around, able to get behind Abs or bust, pressure them out, use those ultimates to sort of cancel out any plays that Abs or bust was able to make with those double support ultimates, and called it good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Timeless Obsidian going into this upcoming break with what I have to say, an absolute standout performance. They knew exactly what they wanted to play. They knew exactly how they wanted to play it. Just across the board, an incredible performance. And quite frankly, I'm really looking forward to what Abs or Bust have up their sleeve, because right now I think Timeless Obsidian might have just one more card on their hand.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it is going to be their map pick. It is going to be, their choice of defense, but so was Midtown. So really, this is going to be the last straw. This is going to be the point where they want to hold, and this is going to be the point where you're going to be looking at an Abs or Bust reverse sweep or Timeless Obsidian at 3-0. So that is going to be basically the update as we head in this break. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more high action packed Overwatch.
Atlas Fighters Standoff. Choose your fighter. Cammy Tracer. Choose your fighter. Sakura Kiriko. Choose your fighter. Bison Sigma. Check out all this and more at goatsreviveshop.com.
Hello and welcome back. We have returned from our short break, moving into the series. 2-0 so far for Timeless Obsidian, who have looked, well, quite frankly, absolutely stellar so far. They really seem to find their way into the matchup. Aside from the first map of Oasis, they actually seem pretty dominant so far. Abs or bust? Now it's time to show what these abs are made out of. Can these abs be just as timeless as Obsidian, or, you know, will they wither after
Will
all?
they bust?
Will they bust? That is the question.
will they bust? Yeah, here's the thing. I'm realizing necessarily that caster cursing is a thing. So here's what I'm gonna say. I think Timeless are going to come into Saravasa absolutely dominating Abs or Bust. I don't think Abs or Bust have necessarily a standing chance by I can't do it with a straight face. I can't do it with a straight face. I'm sorry. I was trying to reverse psychology it, man. I was trying to reverse psychology it. Listen.
You're gonna do my boy Super Gomez dirty like
that?
No.
You misunderstand, my friend. I'm trying to give him a little bit of a rise. You see what trick the universe into giving him a win. I digress. Abs or Bust, they have been looking on the back foot this entire series. Timeless has just been tearing apart the plans that Abs or Bust have been able to get. They've been able to snowball their way into incredibly uncomfortable positions for Abs or Bust to break through. We saw it in Helios on that spawn hold. We saw it in their attack on Midtown, where Timeless was, regardless of the pressure that Abs or Bust was trying to give out, just able to find the value where they needed it, especially with the ultimates more so than Abs or Bust were.
I mean, I do think that, you know, you're talking about getting the universe to give him a break or something, but, you know, like I said at the start, wins aren't given, wins are earned. And
True.
I do have to say that Timeless Obsidian, they've absolutely earned their wins. I do want to say they have across the board played it better. We've seen incredible team play out of them. We've seen incredible standout individual performances as well. And they're really just showing what can happen if you merge the best of both worlds. Obviously, we all know consistent teams that don't excel on an individual basis. But if you do have a team that is consistent and can excel on an individual basis, you know, if you're not that team, you're in a tight spot.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, realistically, because we know Abs or Bust can play to a high level, right? The one thing I'm curious about, if I ever go back and watch the spawn, which I probably will do, there's just the question of why is Abs or Bust not quite getting the value they need to out of these ultimates, right? We've seen it time and time again, and I'm more specifically talking about the Super Gomez fluxes than anything. Not that Super Gomez hasn't been able to pick up players or find targets to sort of get those fluxes with, but the follow through isn't necessarily ever there, and I'm just curious, where's the disconnect happening for the side of Abs or Bust? Timeless, every time they press Q, it gets a pick. Every time they press Q, it gets value. Every single time it's purposefully done and it finds meaning and it's communicated effectively enough to where it gets collapsed upon. Abs or Bust, they seem to be struggling on that half just a little bit. I'm curious to see if on Saravasa, where ultimates need to be built up quickly and used effectively, will they be able to sort of piece this one back together?
I mean, I certainly hope so, because I'd love to see this turn into a longer series. The thing about Abs or Bust that we know is, it's not just their name that, that really allures to a certain play style, but it's, well, more so than that. Actually, the entire team is sort of focused around not perfectly playing it stellar, not playing it excellently, but you're playing around these individual stand-up performances. Stand-up performances like we saw against Persona. We do know that Ryan Mazing, Lukewarm, Korova, they can all pop off. Super Gomez can be insane on the Junker Queen, for example. Can get huge value. We saw Neutral pop off on the Kiriko as well. The only issue with that is that, that just doesn't seem to work out for them here. But moving on to Saravasa, I mean, we're going to have a little bit of a look at, just what strategy Abs or Bust have laid out for themselves here in order to address the certainly domineering playstyle of Timeless Obsidian.
Yeah, and it's about to be crunch time, right? Super Gomez are gonna be seeing come out on the. We're gonna be seeing Abs or Bust play this. Go back to the brawl. Go back to the. I apologize. Arisa, Baptiste, Lucio, gonna be looking to pressure out Timeless. You're gonna be looking at this Sigma comp, and Absirbus, they've got to play first. They've got to get aggressive. Sure, you've got Sloth on that Baptiste Bastion, but you know, the aggression needs to come out from the side of Absirbus. They can't let Timeless Obsidian tear themselves apart anymore. It's gonna be game time, and they're gonna need to be cooking in the kitchen in order to figure this the rest of the series out as we go into the first point.
I mean, I'm really interested to see that Lukewarm and Ryan Mazing are back at it again with the Soldier and Tracer, which is actually what worked out for them well on the first point of Oasis, being able to take those off angles and potentially get some additional value. Look at that pressure already mounting, and instantly the pick on a Keith comes through. Lukewarm, a predator, just goes right in, fights that absolutely lethal first pick, and now what do you have? You have Unread on the Lucio. That won't be able to keep alive Luca for long. Still though, Lukewarm gets taken down. Super Gomez will fall to Dynasty, and while the picks are coming up, Unread is more than willing to try to go and aggressively does get taken down by Neutral here. But I mean, certainly for losing their Baptiste instantly into the fight, that just shows you the incredible capacity of Timeless Obsidian to kick back from pretty much any loss.
Yeah, that was. I mean, sure, Absirbus do get the point flip. They do end up winning the fight eventually, but Timeless Obsidian, they're right back to where they started because they didn't ever lose Luca. Now, granted, I say that Lukewarm once again on that Tracer done an incredible job at pressuring the backline. Sloth goes down before the fight's even able to begin, and now Absirbus, they're going to be able to press W. This Immortality is going to play in huge to keep the rest of the backline alive, and it is going to buy enough time for Unread to pick up Super Gomez with the help of his team. Now, Absirbus is going to have to play back, and despite Lukewarm's initial explosion of pressure, Timeless may have a bit of an advantage here, considering they're missing out on Super Gomez.
I mean, absolutely, the advantage is given.
Oh my goodness! What in the world, Luca? That was absolutely crazy. The rock comes through, Lukewarm does fall, and that's going to be Ryan Mazing falling as well. Timeless are going to be pulling this one back. Granted, we're looking at pretty much last fight on this point, but wow, that was disgusting.
That was absolutely menacing, and again, Luca just having that absolutely lethal aim when it comes to the rock. Now going to commit the flux as well. Does shut down Neutral here, just in order to buy a little bit of additional time bank while we're looking at support elements being available to Timeless Obsidian. Interestingly enough, Sloth here has also chosen no longer to play the Bastion, has recognized the absolute threat that Lukewarm is, certainly has been sizzling so far on this map, but will now have to try and force his way through. Sloth going into this. Talk about forcing their way through though. We're looking at an almost 5 ultimate bank by Absirbus.
Yeah, this is going to be definitely their fight to lose. Lukewarm used the pulse bomb, not able to find anything, but the pressure coming after that, the sound barrier comes through for the side of Timeless Obsidian, going to be allowing them to survive a ton of pressure that Absirbus is trying to pull out. The Terror Surge comes through, not able to find anything. Ryan Mazing does pick off the backline, and that is going to be it. Absirbus cleaning up the support line, going to be meaning the rest of members of Timeless Obsidian basically just being Sloth left alive. Absirbus get the capture back, and there may be one more fight available to them.
That really is the question. Will they be able to find that contest? At least for now, Sloth will be able to disengage. Somebody will have to make it back, but realistically, that is possible. The touch can come through. Sloth just going to have to make it in there, get the recall. Actually, will not have to be the one, as apparently Dynasty will go for the touch. Sloth barely surviving there, just by the skin of a teeth. Now, though, the overclock is ready, and Dynasty is more than willing to use it. Pops right up, he's looking for the value, not quite able to find it just yet. Survive with 5 HP himself, but he stays depressed, stays hungry, stays in the fray. Unfortunately enough for Super Gomez, not quite as fortunate. We'll have to fall back as the point now is almost under control of Timeless Obsidian just yet. They do manage to trade out though with the Baptiste having gone down. He's out of the picture now. Timeless Obsidian are actually quite much on a time bank. Lukewarm goes back in, finds the pickup on the Dynasty, and just as swiftly as they've made their entrance onto their point, they will take their action, and Absirbus take the point.
Yeah, and this is, you know, we saw a really good pick off there on the Keith, and as you mentioned before, granted, Timeless, they've defied the odds, they've survived with just elusive killing, but it is certainly a much harder task than having that Baptiste available, having that support come through. Absirbus, they've got a little bit more sustain. Lukewarm has recall. Super Gomez on that Arisa just able to survive forever, and with that pick onto the Baptiste, Absirbus find the first point capture, and both teams meeting each other here on equal footing on the second point.
this is absolutely it. Look at that, right? Amazing, instantly sniped out by Dynasty. That's what you love to see if you're a Timeless Obsidian fan. Exactly the pickup that you do need moving into this fight, having eroded such a significant chunk of damage already. Amp Matrix, though, will come up from neutral. He's going to be able to find the pick. The answer is yes. Super Gomez finds the spear of the Dynasty, and the slot goes down. There's no DPS line of left to speak of. The sticky comes to full force out the immortality field, and get a huge rock actually getting connected there, so will not be able to fight the pick. The beat gets committed in the 3v5 situation, and Timeless Obsidian disengage after using their offensive ult.
Yeah, you know, Super Gomez uses the Terra Surge there, and it scares Unred into using that sound barrier. Now, Timeless, they are going to be coming back in quick, which is probably why they ended up committing it anyways, despite the fight loss. And AbsRobust, they're on that defensive hold one more time. We're going to be seeing Timeless, you know, slowly encroach here, try to pressure out, try to find any fix they can.
Oh, the javelin!
So what a javelin comes through!
And you put it back where it came from, you Dutch spaceman! Super Gomez is having none of it. Look at that beautiful utilization of CC. He himself will barely be staying alive. Immortality, though, gets committed. Amplification Matrix will not be committed just yet. The beat, though, gets dropped as a retaliation for the overclock. Counter yet the sticky comes through, and my left and right ultimates are committed. The move comes through, will be able to shut down the Rova, and now the point is flipped in terms from Timeless Obsidian. Lukewarm, he holds on, he goes in, he finds the pick, but it is nothing but a futile stall.
I mean, yeah, what a absolute clutch play there from my yeah, oh man, that is so staggered. But it is gonna be AbsRobust trying to push in here, trying to recognize that Timeless Obsidian is also staggered out. But granted, you're down your Baptiste. December is gonna be there to stagger to allow them to pressure it out just a little bit longer. But the point is still under Timeless Obsidian's control. And without there, gonna be blocking out the stick there from inside of Lukewarm, and AbsRobust gonna, you know, kind of force themselves to come back here. It was a little bit of a waste of time, if I'm gonna be honest, despite the fact that they've been playing out of their minds. Timeless Obsidian, they were able to clutch this one up, and now we're looking at last fight from this point.
We're looking at last fight, but we're looking at a neutral fight as well, which could favor either team. Really Sloppy on a little bit of an off angle. Might be going for the cheeky pick. Look at that, just tries to zap neutral right down there. Will not be able to do so. However, in the meantime, the counter pick does come through. Keith again eliminated by Lukewarm, and that was a massive first pick coming through. A second will follow just as swiftly. The javelin connects, and this could actually be the second point going for AbsRobust already, as they do flip it once more.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we're going to be going into overtime. I'm sure Timeless Obsidian is going to be looking to close this, to get this point here. AbsRobust, they have the Terra Surge available to them, and not really any great responses from the side of Timeless Obsidian, so this is going to be a little rough for them. As we're going to be looking at the 97, 98, 99. Okay, somebody does touch indeed. The Tracer is going to be able to get the recall force to use. Sigbomb not available to them. No other touches come through, and that was both a pick and no stall out. So realistically, we're looking at another neutral fight here for the third point.
AbsRobust have done such a tremendous job of picking this one back up, and I have to say it has to be on the back of Lukewarm. Don't get me wrong, 100%. Super Gomez, amazing javelins. We've seen tight plays across the board from AbsRobust making this work, but it has to be Lukewarm. He's absolutely burning bright right now, and he is the star of this team that, honestly, it might be able to lead them to safety.
Yeah, absolutely. Lukewarm with that backline pressure and with these pulse bombs forcing out the immortality fields. Now, once again, we see the immortality field actually get forced up inside of AbsRobust. Timeless going to be using that advantage to sort of pressure this one forward. And look at the absolute grind onto the enemy Orisa. The sound barrier comes through to sustain it, but it isn't going to be enough to bash damage just so much. Sloth doesn't.
It doesn't have to be. Lukewarm got another two.
Oh my goodness, Lukewarm going to pick up three. Amazing is able to pick up a fourth, and that is going to be it. This is a battle of the DPS. I don't know if you've noticed, but it feels like any time the teams are able to solidify themselves on the point, it's because either Dynasty or Amazing were able to pick up the first pick, or Lukewarm was able to get a nice sticky onto the backline. This is coming down to the DPS.
You know why AbsRobust won that fight? It's probably because they committed 4 ultimates in order to make it happen, because Super Gomez had every right to die in that. The absolutely inhuman amount of damage Sloth was able to put onto him was absolutely devastating. But look at that, the Reinhardt is actually coming out. So now, apparently, Timeless Obsidian, again, they do know how to adapt. They do want to get creative. And, I mean, Super Gomez is just not going to survive that.
Yeah, you can't really face tank the Bastion even as an Orisa. I mean, you don't have, like, really...
I mean, especially not with the activation.
No, the only reason why Super Gomez was able to survive that initial fight was because Sound Barrier was available to them, and now we're going to be seeing this sort of pressure coming out from this Reinhardt Bastion. That Sloth is going to have so much sustainability, especially with Keith's Immortality Field. This could look like a reverse here from the side of Timeless. They have 3 ultimates on board.
I mean, they do have 3 ultimates on board, however, they are also 3 points short of getting through. Already we're going to see the first commit come through here. A little bit of a... Oh, Mirage into the backline. Right, amazing. Taken down as the Sticky does eliminate the Immortality Field. However, not quite as good as the pickup onto the Trojan. And look at that. Instantly, the aggression burst forward. Timeless Obsidian trying to find their way inside Javelin. Going to buy some additional space, though. And it would seem like Absidian are more than happy to kite.
Yeah, I mean... I like this because Lukewarm isn't able to get nearly as much value now that Luca's on this Reinhardt. You gotta be a little bit more careful about getting too close to that Bastion.
Look at the overclock!
Nice overclock comes through, gonna be screaming over the top. The Immortality for there, gonna be for the Abs or Buzz, gonna keep the backline alive as the Sound Barrier comes through beside the time. This is gonna be allowing Luca to go in so deep as that Reinhardt overtime is ticking down, and that is gonna be the first point that Timeless City are able to pick up here on Saravasa.
They are able to pick that up, but again, it was not a cheap one at all. Sure, we're looking at Sloth already 40% up towards another configuration artillery. Yet again, the beat got committed there, as well as the overclock. And now we're looking at, honestly, support ultimates just about being available to Abs or Bust. We're looking at the Terra Surge, which honestly isn't that impressive, but also yet another overclock out of her amazing. So Abs or Bust are stacking their arsenal right now, and when they do manage to finally come through with it, they might be able to unleash absolute havoc upon Timeless Obsidian.
Yep. Now we're going to be seeing Absidian sort of pressure control. The Ant Matrix even putting out so much DPS pressure. Lukewarm has to play safe, does not want to get picked off here, but Super Gomez is playing it behind the wall. The Ant Matrix only there to stall out time and allow Timeless to sort of find that first capture. Now Absidian, they're going to be playing on the back foot here as they're going to be looking to use those ultimates to pressure out. Timeless Obsidian right back. The Ant Matrix comes through, going to be scaring Timeless away. And these disengages with the Ant Matrix, they're respecting them so much that Absidian are able to get that point back without little issue. And they have the ultimate to sustain themselves in this fight.
Nobody does want to drop that first elimination, you know, that's so crucial going into this fight. And look at that Terra Surge coming through. Roboto has been eliminated already. Terra Surge not going to be able to find him just yet, but there's the Shatter! In the meantime, traded out for the map, though the Immortality Field still going to be there just to keep them alive that little bit longer. Lukewarm now having been taken care of as well. It seems like the air is getting just a little thinner, and Gomez will be able to take down Dynasty. Just like that, it would seem Absidian are moving back onto the point. The re-established dominant, and dominant that they are. Super Gomez finding the shutdown of Luca, and as Sloth falls, the timer ticks up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what an incredible back and forth from both teams as they were just sort of trading it out, respecting each other's ultimates, not really wanting to drop that first pick. We saw Kurova be the first one to fall, sorry, apologies. We saw Unred be the first one to fall, and that was going to be basically it. Timeless Obsidian not being able to retreat. Abs was able to press that we find the value they wanted. Lukewarm tries to draw that pulse on, not to find anything. Samurai comes in inside of Timeless.
Lukewarm, though, already taken down. The counter beat has been committed from the looks of it. Not quite sure who's going to get picked up just yet. Looking a little bit rough around the edges here, but in the end, Timeless Obsidian truly looking superior here, and they're going to be more than happy about those ultimate exchanges, as now Abs or Bust are looking a little bit barren when it comes to their economy.
Yeah, I mean, Super Gomez about to pick up the Terra Surge. The Ant Matrix there could prove dangerous for Super Gomez. They might try to push in there to sort of find that value. As we get to 80%, I mean, it's going to look kind of rough for Absidian. I mean, clearly they want to win this point, right? That means they're going to get another map win. That means they're going to be sort of continuing the series. Otherwise, we could go into match point in Saravasa.
I mean, that is absolutely a possibility. Look at that Ant Matrix getting popped up, aggressive positioning out of Super Gomez here, really just kicking it right back off. In the meantime, though, Ant Matrix not going to be able to find a pick just yet. Pressure is on, though. Huge pick on the Luca. That could actually be it to kick it off. Right, amazing. He's going to fire up the overclock. The Immortality Field will not be enough to contain him as the Terra Surge comes through. The ground quakes. The crowd roars. And Abs or Bust take their first point in the series.
What did I tell you, my friend? An absolute DPS showcase from the side of AbsRbust is what caused them to be so aggressive and so dominating on the side of Timeless Obsidian. Yes, we're going to be seeing this play from Super Gomez, as it's going to be a nice pressure and the Terrorist Church here, waiting at that sound barrier, finding the pressure required, getting those picks followed through by Lukewarm and Amazing. Look at this. As critical as that Terrorist Church was to burning away that HP, it was still the DPS finding the cleanups, finding the value, finding that individual performance. And if they're able to keep this up, if AbsRbust are truly on fire now, and Lukewarm and Amazing are able to continue putting on that pressure, we could see a totally different series than what the first two maps showed us.
I'm so happy that it turned out like this because it really showed us the best aspects of Overwatch, and it did show us the potential of AbsRbust. For AbsRbust, it's not about consistency, it's about the true capabilities of their individual players, and Lukewarm has absolutely proven that on this map. Suravasa was his to take, and he reigned supreme. He was the king for at least the first 2 points, it has to be said. Towards the third point, we did see Timeless Obsidian adjust, and again, that's what I talk about when I mean the best of Overwatch, because Timeless Obsidian, they're an incredibly good team. They have incredibly strong individual players, but they're not complacent. They can recognize that what they're doing isn't working out. They don't have to force that one composition. They are flexible players. They do swap over onto that brawl. They do manage to take a point. And quite frankly, if it hadn't been for that absolutely crucial pick on a Luca by Amazing, that fight could have gone any way. That map could have dragged on to really a tie-breaking final, or God knows. I mean, it could have been the end of the series.
Yeah, 110%. I mean, that opening pick from the side of Amazing onto Luca, that Reinhardt was putting out so much pressure. The Reinhardt was the adaptation, right, from the side of Timeless. It was the answer to the absolute abundance of pressure coming in from the DPS from the side of AbsRbust. So the fact that the roles got reversed there on that final point, and AbsRbust were allowed to play aggressive, were allowed to sort of finally tear through Timeless, finally tear through that Reinhardt, Amazing with that overclock, just finding all the value they can need in the last fight. Gonna be putting the series up 2-1, as we're gonna be taking a look at our fourth map here in a second. And I am excited. I'm ready for the map 5, my friend. I'm ready for the map 5.
Well, if you want to make a map 5, we're going to have to see the map 4 first, and Timeless Obsidian ain't handing out maps. I don't know how to break it to you. They're not giving these willingly at all. I mean, Timeless Obsidian, they may have lost that one, but it was not an easy fight for AbsRbust to take. So, absolutely incredible performance across the board by the AbsRbust team. I really, just hats off to them. Beautiful javelins across the board, also by Super Gomez, and we're going to go to Esperanza, which is apparently everybody's favorite push map, which, to be fair, if you compare it to Colosseo, is probably not that hard of a not that hard of a contest, but this one actually picked by Timeless Obsidian does have quite long sightlines. It does have a rather disgusting high ground. You can hold really well with a Sigma, so that might be the thought process here.
Hey, what's your problem with Colosseo, bro? What's the problem with Colosseo? Colosseo is a great map. I love Colosseo personally, but we are going to be going to Esperanza, as you mentioned before. Really, typically push maps themselves have long sightlines. It's just kind of a rule, I guess you could say. I think the only one that doesn't really apply to is Canada. Is the one for Toronto.
Toronto, yeah.
Yeah.
New Queen Street, yeah.
Yeah, New Queen Street. Thank you for that. I see. I played this game. I know the map names sometimes. But we're not going to be seeing all too much of a different look here from these teams. We do see Dynasty back on that absolutely lethal May.
That is true. However, we do still have Super Gomez on the Orisa, and that is a much more resilient pick to the mate choice than just about any other tank, to be perfectly honest with you. Like maybe the Winston, I guess, if you can get the disengage, but at the same time, she is going to slow you down, and that is going to be absolutely annoying. That said, Lukewarm this time around on the Soldier, you can already tell he's taking that high ground off angle this time around, not on the Tracer because he doesn't want to engage as closely, but he will take that additional high ground positioning from the backline. We'll be putting in through some damage. Timeless Obsidian here again going aggressive. Oh, there's the no, and there is the gold. And will he live? The answer appears to be yes. Exactly, that is why you do play the Orisa. Unfortunately enough, for Timeless Obsidian though, they're not quite as lucky. Keith and Dynasty dropping down, and with their death, so too the others will follow.
Yeah, and nice 3K there from side of Amazing to open up the first fight of the map. But as you mentioned, that was a very clean attempt there from the side of Timeless. But you know, Super Gomez playing that Orisa, gonna be staying alive, gonna be able to eat through so much damage and so much pressure. We're gonna be seeing Dynasty already swapping over to that Genji, realizing that that Mei wall is not gonna do what they wanted for them, and that they have to take care of the backline pressure first.
What I do love about this adjustment from Abs and Bus is just how well they are able to fight here. Obviously, Sigma can only protect in one direction. He is not in that one direction, I suppose. Right, Amazing with another beautiful takedown already, shutting him right down here. Dynasty this time around on the Genji, going to try to find some additional value in the piece time, but we're going to see Luka get absolutely eviscerated and just look at that. Abs or Bust are about to unlock forward spawns.
Dude, what did I tell you? They're back on fire. They're cooking in the kitchen. The recipes are making themselves, and we're gonna be seeing 4 ultimates come alive instead of Absor Kurova falling a little bit behind here compared to the rest of the lobby, but that does not matter when you've got the tools that Absor does. Amazing has been so good, and Lukewarm's actually able to pick up Keith before the fight's been able to begin. That's your Baptiste down. They only have unread healing, and now it's gonna be a disengage from Timeless. So much space being bought here for Abs.
I don't know what happened, but somebody get Keith a bulletproof vest and a helmet, because so far he's been sniped first every single fight. It's just not as bad from the looks of it. Neutral, though, more than happy to show that a Baptiste does not only have to be brave, but can also be the Predator. Look at that. Couple of artillery strikes coming through. He will not be able to find the value just yet. And in the meantime, I mean, look at that massive advantage. Look at the insanely aggressive hold coming through. Super Gomez just trying to get this cheeky pick up. We'll be able to find it as well. Absolutely ridiculous. He tries to make it out. Will barely be able to disengage, but right into the nest of the Genji. He actually gets the kill. You want to talk about BM ultimates? I mean, you really just did that to get the fortify so you wouldn't die to the Genji, and it worked. I mean, what are you gonna say to that? Look at that, 120 meters.
20 meters. I was gonna say 120 meters with 7 minutes on the clock. Absor absolutely showing up. They're taking their name back because of the absolute disrespect that was there on Ilios. The sound barrier comes through. Lukewarm gonna be acting in attack. Going to find one. Both supports go down now. This is absolute completion. You cannot convince me otherwise. The DPS, they're online. They've unlocked their 4 meters, 3 meters, 2 meters. There will be a touch point. They will touch, but goes down immediately though. But look, they're still getting picked off.
The flip finds nothing. The spear shuts them down. 15-player kill streak. You rack them up, baby. You rack them up. Because right now,
looking at that point.
They're made of steel.
Dude, okay, there's still a little bit of pressure from the Tracer. Can Lukewarm really pick it up? The Tracer and Lucio going to be stalling up for so much, but it's just not enough. That will be the map. No. There's no way. We're looking at match point here, and that was absolutely preposterous.
Did not lose a fight. Abs or Bust did not lose a fight. They completed with what? A 6-minute time bank. That is ridiculous. You wouldn't expect that in a slanted matchup. You wouldn't even expect that if one of you were cheating. That is absolutely mental. I don't think I've ever seen such an absolutely ass-whooping of a time bank in a matchup where, until 3 seconds ago, Timeless Obsidian was the favorite. Absolutely. It could have been
literally
or Bust. They're just ripping it out right there. They're like, you know what? I can take those bullets. Come take me, bro. And they fucking walk in there and smack down everybody. Keith gets gunned down every single fight first. Just goes down. Right, Amazing lays down the smack. Super Gomez clears up the field. How can you not lose a single fight on a push map and completed? I mean, I thought fucking, what was it? Atlantic Esports impressed me about how much can a team grow over the course of 2 maps. You can't grow that much over 2 maps. Like, you go from here to there. How is that even possible?
I don't even know. As I mentioned, Absor they needed to pull their pants by the straps, and boy did they pull. That felt like a cloud set of overalls, bro. That was ridiculous. I mean, just the amount of pressure. Absor they held no fear. They said, we are warm and we are ready. Lukewarm went absolutely bananas on that Sojourn. Any single time that Dynasty, who plays a very strong Genji, tried to get any amount of pressure, it was always a left click in the face of the in the face of the Genji. Absor they came up on fire. 6 minutes, and it wasn't even close. Timeless, like you said, they didn't win a single fight. What looked like an absolutely dominating start to this series with Timeless has been completely flipped and turned around and spun on its head in a drunken stupor.
I don't think I've ever seen a map 4 that has more screamed a reverse sweep in my life. I don't think it is possible, like physically possible. That said, I just want to say, Abs or Bust, you want to talk about adaptation. Abs or Bust have done such an amazing job, and that wasn't just on the basis of individual skill alone. They played it perfectly. They knew Sigma can only cover one direction. There's only one way you're shielding, there's only one way you're grasping. Lukewarm was on the off angle every single time. Keith was the first target every single time. He went down, he got shut down, and the team crumbled like a Jenga tower. I mean, honestly, we're going into a break, and Timeless Obsidian have to need it at this point. Like, what will that do to your mental? Honestly, I would say don't leave, but if you're leaving, that's your own fault. If you're not staying to watch
you're
that
really
live,
missing out, brother.
I don't know what you're doing, honestly. I'll see you in 10 or whatever much of a break we have. Till then, lads.
We'll see you guys later. Don't go away.
Absolutely insane. Crazy, I'm not gonna lie.
We have another game after this. We have another game after this.
We have another. There is another 5 maps after this. Maybe. I mean, fuck, I'm there for it. If Citrus versus is even nearly as good as this one, fuck me, man.
Yeah. That is. I mean. What, like, how do you go for being spawn camped and toyed with on Illegos just fucking...
I mean, they weren't exactly toyed with. Like, sure, they got spawn camped, but I wouldn't call it toyed with. Because there wasn't a troll comp, there wasn't a throw comp. The Flux was maybe a bit of an overcommit, but it wasn't like,
exactly.
You know...
I think the Flux is a little disrespectful, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a little, because I think they had already won that fight. They were already up like 3 members, and then the Flux came through, and I was like, wow, that's just rude. But then we had the Terror Surge against Dynasty.
That was also the Blizzard, I think. That's what kind of surprised me. I was like, you couldn't admit that much for it, but I mean, again, like, what the fuck was that last map? How long was that map?
3 minutes? No, 4 minutes.
4 minutes. I've never seen a Twitch map that short.
Because it starts at 10, right?
a lot of things to say about this series, but I did not expect there would be a match that I could probably talk about longer than it actually took to play out. Like,
Like,
if you if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. You can probably watch it before the next match starts.
yeah,
Like,
I mean, really, if you
absolutely
just want to go take
ridiculous.
a look at the last map, I mean, granted, you won't have the ability to go back, I think, in the live stream, but regardless, when we take a look at this series, Timeless Obsidian, they did look domineering against Absirbust in the first 2 maps. I mean, whenever we take a look at the spawn camp on Lucio, even, the Overcommitment vaults, their ability to just run through Absirbust, constantly tear apart, and Midtown even as well, just tear through Absirbust constantly, not giving them a chance to breathe, not really allowing them to make any plays because Timeless was just that strong. And then we got to Suravasa, and it got kind of close, but Absirbust, they started popping off. The DPS started showing up. Lukewarm and Rhyme Amazing, they really started to find their stride. And then we had Esperanza. And that map
It
ended
happened.
before the 6-minute timer hit the clock. I mean, that was just ridiculous. Like, Timeless had 2 elims. Timeless, I'm pretty sure, had like 2 elims that entire map.
I mean, you know what they say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and Absirbust, they're not here for the sprint, but they're certainly here for the marathon. I mean, imagine that this is the kind of match that the group stages will rob us off, because it was a 2-0 for starters, and then Absirbust were like, wait, it's not over yet? Well, I didn't hear no bell, and they just went right back in, and that was, I mean, just absolutely insane. How do you kick back like that? I mean, obviously, Suravasa was probably a bit of a morale boost, showing you, you know, we're still here, we can do this, we do have the response to what they're playing, you know, we're not going to take this lying down, like you said. And, I mean, I didn't think that your prayer to the fucking sky was going to make it happen, but, I mean, I guess the Castus Curse beats just about everything, so... And again, obviously, it's a funny joke to say that, but I mean, if I wore a hat, listen, okay, listen. So, if I wore a hat, okay, then I would say hats off to Timeless Obsidian, and if I wore 2 hats, I'd say I'd take both hats off to Absirbust, because they had such an insane performance, being able to bring that back just from the brink of absolutely nothing. I mean, by what justification? How can you just be this good? This is like some heart of the cards shit.
This is some anime protagonist, I don't know, some Uno reverse card. Like, you can't even, the amount of memes on the internet would not be able to describe what exactly this tournament event was. I mean, we called it, we said it before, it was an absolute butt whooping on Esperanza, and I can't wait to see if that 5-minute break, will the 5-minute break be enough for Timeless to regain their composure, find a way to tear apart Absirbust, or have Absirbust taken the disrespect from the first 2 maps and smacked Timeless across the face with it. We're going to be taking a look at what the 5th map is. This is, of course, Timeless's pick, and we're going to Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Now, this is a curious one, because Watchpoint Gibraltar, we usually see D.Va compositions played. So far, we've only really seen Super Gomez pop up the D.Va. It really did not work out on Ilios for them. Then again, we might see a bit more of a mirror matchup here on Gibraltar. Naturally, there's an insane amount of high ground. You could try to run the poke, you could try to run the dive. Really, the brawl has a bit more of an issue, unless, I guess, you're London Spitfire and you're bringing your Symmetra everywhere you go. But I'm not really expecting that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, granted, as you mentioned before, Absirbust, it didn't look too fantastic on the D.Va composition, but that was before they were on fire. That was back on I think they played it a little bit on
Ilios, yeah.
Town. And maybe Ilios as well, where it didn't look very strong. Now we're gonna be seeing Super Gomez on this monkey composition, the character on his player title. So at this point, I'm thinking maybe this is a comfort pick that we have yet to see this tournament, really.
I mean, here's the thing. Super Gomez, obviously, if you're going to go play with the Winston Diana, you have several options here. Your options are, of course, you could play for the anti, but playing for the Nano Winston or the Nano Genji or the Nano Blade are really big options here in order to win out team fights. Because there's, you know, of course, you could try to get the stun off onto him if you do have the rally, but at the same time, you're still going to put yourself in an incredibly dangerous position. Now, what I do find interesting is Amazing on the Symmetra here. Look at that early engage. Instantly going to get pooped off the high ground here. Amazing now going to swap over onto the Genji. Lukewarm in the meantime going to try to find some of those cheeky picks. And look at that massive damage just getting chunked over onto Gomez.
Yeah, and that's a really good idea when it comes to this D.Va against this Winston. The D.Va just puts out way more damage consistently. Yes, the utility with the shield from the Winston can do a whole lot. You know, split the backline in half, really create opportunities of mischief for that Winston to find the value. But the damage from the D.Va cannot be disputed. Now when you're seeing Amazing trying to find a little bit of value on the high ground, but Timeless, they're doing a really good job at keeping their ground and not getting pressured off.
I mean, they are actually forced to retreat, at least for the time being. I mean, look at how aggressive Gomez is going to get here, just trying to get that critical little pickup onto the Genji. Does drop low here, but again, of course, the health pack from Unread, or the repair pack from Unread is going to be able to come through. And all the while, actually, ooh, those are getting exchanged. Dynasty's going to get taken down. Super Gomez goes in deep, will be able to find the pickup on a keep that while he's trying it out for, that still does mean that card is going to continue to progress. All right, well, I'm not hearing anything, so I'm assuming that was my connection. That said, Amazing actually getting anti here. Will have to disengage. Does manage to get shut and down, however, by Slot. Very nice pickup as Luca is actually going to get forced into a little bit more of a defensive position. Not looking too hot for him there. The pressure's still mounting, though, as we're actually going to see Sloth now taken down. Dynasty incredibly though. HP does get propped up here. Luca not looking much more healthy. That Nano boost, though, coming in clutch. Actually, Genji with that Nano boost, incredibly dangerous pick, but Lukewarm just a bit more dangerous. Does find the double, and that first point is now just about unlocked.
I mean, can we talk this guy's praises anymore? I mean, Dynasty goes in, has a Nano available to them, going to be looking for some of that backline pressure, and Lukewarm knows exactly where he's going to be. Beautiful headshot there with the Ash from the side of Lukewarm. It shuts that one down and allows AbsRBust to really finish up the cleanup here. Sticky Bomb might be looking for a backline pick. Not going to be able to find it, though, as Korova and Neutral manage to stay alive.
So far, the Picon Sloth not readily having come through just yet. Will be able to follow through eventually, though, with a little bit of help from Amazing. Sleep Dart having connected onto Gomez, who's still a little bit angry about that one, but that nap will have helped him calm down just a little bit. Does end up getting anti here and will be chased down, however, not being taken down just yet. Now, Luca does have to get a little bit more defensive. We do see the blade popped up. He's going to be able to find Lukewarm Dynasty here, going down to just about 60%, but Hubris, Amazing will pay for it, and you put that one in the montage, Merv. You put that one right next to the Amazing Never Dies Steering Blade.
I say things to hype players up, but Amazing. I don't, Dynasty. You know, they had the blade out first. They drew the knife first. They had the weapon. They had the pressure, and Amazing fell like a house of cards. I don't know what else to say.
I assume he just thought the blade was over. I mean, I wouldn't think he thought he had 2 more swings in him. Amazing though, shut down by Dynasty, and now, at least for the time being, it looks like Luca can get locked in a little bit there. Unfortunately enough, though, for Gomez, he's not all too impressed by that Dynasty now. Shut down by Korova, though, would mean that maybe we're going to see a little bit more of a structure engage about to come up. That Nano was just about to be prepared, as well as that self-destruct still being available. I mean, so far hasn't really utilized that. Unfortunately, Luca with a blind engage on the back of the Nano was not able to find the value just yet. Ooh, won't be able to find Lukewarm. That repair pack is barely keeping him alive. Oh my god, Luca actually not getting evac.
Absolutely clutch to staying there from the side of Corona, keeping Lukewarm alive despite the Nano D.Va just absolutely harrowing down Lukewarm. Granted, it was a little bit of an oopsie there from the side of Luca, going in blind with that engage. Now rotation here from the side of Timeless. They're going to be looking to hold this point one more time. Rally comes through to open things up.
Oh, look at that anti though coming through. That's a tight spot for Gomez. He's gonna pop up that primal though. Won't be able to stay in the fray. The pressure's on. The bomb's gonna have to go down. But the kill onto Luca comes through regardless. Traded out for Lukewarm so far. Dynasty gets shot, doesn't go down yet. Ryan Mazing gonna be able to find the finishing touches. 3 for 2 exchange those on Red. Is gonna be able to find Ryan Mazing, and consequently just 2 meters short. That card is going to stall out.
Okay, a little bit of, I think Super Gomez ended up on the wrong side of the fence and just went for the reset. But I digress. Oh, the primal was used actually and didn't really find all too much value. I'm 39 the clock from Abs or Bust.
A minute and 30 seconds, I mean, certainly is still a time bank left to go. However, it will have to be capitalized upon, and a lot of ultimates did end up getting utilized in that fight. So consequently, this is a little bit tabula rasa, except for, of course, Dynasty with the Blade as well as Ryan Mazing. There goes the Blade, he's gonna go in, finds the first pickup, does get traded out for. Still, trading against neutral is probably well worth it. The pick, counter pick not really able to come through. Dynasty though, having gone down, will mean a 1-for-1 exchange that does not really favor Abs or Bust going into this. And now, coming up into the next fight, times Obsidian, they do still have the nano boost available. The very nice anti to Ryan Mazing here. Look at that bubble though. It's going to be able to shield a significant chunk of that damage. So far, Luca trying to find any additional pickups has not been able to do so, but the overextension of on Red does get punished. The anti flows through, but Lukewarm finds the headshot. Will be able to take down Sloth as a 2-up so far. And at that point, Ryan Mazing, he's just going to drop to the low ground. He's just going to get that extra little bit of hard push before having to disengage here. However, the anti is absolutely crisp. That's a struggle bust and a half. Very nice deep flank as well as Dynasty takes off Lukewarm set. That's the struggle bust and a half. Nano boost does end up getting committed here, but the sleep dart on the Super Gomez does come through. He's still on the support line with that nano boost, trying to pressure them out, doing his utmost to stay in there. Does build the primal, might be able to pop that up. The D-Neck does come through as well, so Luca will be able to eliminate him. Ryan Mazing still gets himself caught out by it as we see the return of Super Gomez. Will be able to shut down on Red, and again, it's just down to the stall. Look at the pressure go. The primal is still available in order to buy some additional space. The sleep dart comes through as well as the whip shot, and Justin Swiftly on the back of the humongous double kill by neutral. They're actually going to be able to move on to third point.
That was, I mean, I talk about it back and forth, right? Timeless goes in for the dive initially, and they lose their support line. They lose Dynasty. They lose on Red, overexposing themselves, and Abs are given a chance to capture the point. Granted, it was a little bit of a pullback difference out of Timeless as they were able to find the pressure back, but eventually Timeless do fall there, and they're going to be forced to hold in this third point with a minute left on the clock already. Only available there for Super Gomez, trying to get found, but will not. He'll be able to survive. He'll be able to sustain himself. As we look, Super Gomez has the primal rage. He's going to get down to 1 HP. Does not want to fall here with only 50 seconds remaining. Is going to be able to sustain himself. He's not going to get picked out. Sloth has the full spot. When you're looking at a backline pick, search for backline pick, at least as Luca holds around this corner. Not damage comes to Ryan. He's going to pick up Dynasty whenever they try to go for that dive, and the Blade is available for the Genji. Nice dash, nice reset. The Blade fine-tuned, no supports now on line for the side. Timeless as I have to plus. They're going to be pushing on this last corner. They're going to be pushing into the spawn of Timeless Obsidian, and this is going to be last fight. 20 seconds remaining. Sloth
they
still
do
able
know
to touch.
Sloth is behind though. Might be able to find the pick up onto him. 53 HP so far, not looking too rosy for him. High ground still held by Ryan Mazing. He's actually going to drop low, trying to find the pickup early. Not going to be able to do so just yet. The duplicate is available. We'll get committed as well onto Super Gomez in order to get a little bit of that extra with support. Getting his 2-tank into the fray. Will be able to take it down already though. Look at that stun coming through onto the already anti-Luca. Does go for the could get D-Neck here. The pressure's on so far. Lukewarm still yet to find and pick that bastard swap. Might come in value, but then again, Luca has been taken down. Massive anti getting committed there with the takedown following through as well. This could be it. It's do or die in the last fight as overtime ticks down. They do it again. Abs or Bust complete the map.
Yeah, Lukewarm with that overclock, and even afterwards, able to pick up 2 picks. Sloth and Unread both go down, and the sustain is already too much in the favor of Abs or Bust. Regardless of the spawn advantage, Timeless City, and they're never able to really find a foothold. I like the Bastion swap over there. I believe from the side of Sloth, trying to get through to Super Gomez, trying to sort of pick off anybody from Abs or Bust, relieve some of that pressure, but it just wasn't enough. As we mentioned before, Timeless, they were already down so many members, and Abs or Bust, they didn't have to expend too many resources to get to where they needed to go. They were able to build them up. They were able to get the last point with tools intact and use them to find their way to third point. Now it's going to be Timeless on this attack, and they've got a task ahead of them.
If I'm Timeless right now, my balls are sweating We're talking about dripping, my friend. We're talking about stalactites right now. You have just been completed by the team you used to dominate. They just won the last 2 maps. They managed to complete the absolute whole thing. They don't need additional time because it's a payload map, which means they're gonna get a second attempt either way. Now, this means that Timeless Obsidian, they have to complete the map. It doesn't even matter if you get additional time back. You have to complete the map. And going into the matchup with that pressure, even knowing that even if you complete the map, you haven't won. You've only extended the playtime. That has to be a lot of stress.
Yeah, I mean, Timeless, they're a really good team. They showed their dominance in the first half of the series, and they are now going to be challenged to pull this one back. They have the like we said, they're a veteran team. They have the experience. They've been under this sort of pressure before, so they could end up thriving in it, similar to the way AbsoBust pulled back in the first half of the series. Now we're going to be seeing lots of pressure for this side of Super Gomez is going to get sustained as they hold in this initial door on top of the bridge. Hanzo from Rising looking for any picks as well, but neither team really wanted to give that one up. They're both playing very safe, neither one wanting to give away that first man advantage. The dive comes through on the high ground. Rising does get down low, and it will be a very nice follow through with the side of Dynasty on that Echo to find the pick. Without that Hanzo, you're really just looking at Lukewarm to pull out the damage, and now no DPS online for the side of AbsoBust is unread, to even pick them off. Timeless, they're going to have the tools necessary and the pressure required to continue pressing forward here.
I mean, they're pressing quite aggressively so far, though. We're still going to have to see some additional picks. The supports are going to be able to stay alive alongside Super Gomez. Still, Luca just going to aggressively chase here. Ryan Mazing absolutely caught up. No boost to keep him alive. That's a commitment and a half. I mean, really, you don't want to lose the Hanzo there, and I guess they don't just talk the talk, but walk the walk. He finds the shutdown onto Luca, takes down Slav, and that's a nano boost that's already paid for itself.
I mean, when your DPS are popping off the way they have tonight, can you really blame them for giving the nano to the Hanzo, who also is like the answer to this monkey from the side of Luca? It was a very smart call, and it kept Ryan Mazing alive, allowing the Supix to go through and resetting the push here from Timeless. He is going to get pressured out once more from this Tracer monkey combo, but will have the supports online to sort of back him up.
Oh, look at that, Nano Gage actually going to come through, dive straight into the backline. He's going to have that primal available as well as the secondary jumps. Now going to go aggressively into the back. We'll actually not be looking to commit that just yet. Instead, returning to the point. Dragon now getting pumped up by Ryan Mazing as well. Not going to be able to find all too much just yet. And so far, the pressure is on, though, in the backline. Looks like Heath is going to get taken down by neutral here and will force out the primal from Super Gomez. Might just be able to find it. Is he going to jump for it? Please tell me he's going to jump for it. What are you doing? There's a lot of questions here. In the end, it's a reset. Super Gomez still going to yoink that kill credit, I suppose. But I do just want to say, there's only a minute and 30 seconds left on the time back here for Timeless Obsidian. They do have a series of ultimates available, and this was actually also the tiebreaker map in their last matchup as well. So either history will repeat itself, or AbsoBust are absolutely going to be making that history themselves.
Pulse Bomb not even finding anything inside of slot. The rally comes through now, going to be keeping the rest of the backline alive as they dive, as they sort of try to find this brawl, but the rally gets antied out. Dynasty is able to pick up Ryan Mazing when he gets traded out regardless. Korova been a very key member on the Brigida, doing their job precisely the way they needed to in order to protect their backline. This dive on the AbsoBust via Timeless, getting down incredibly low as AbsoBust still finding some value. Super Gomez not really being pressured out too much as Lukewarm is going to be found by Sloth. Super Gomez now getting the nano, going to be looking for a pick onto the backline. The sleep dart does come through, going to be sleeping through that nano boost as Timeless going to be continuing to look for the pressure. Keith has the nano.
He was just waiting for the nade. You can tell by the angle he was aiming. He was waiting for it, but he didn't have it. The 2-second timer's still left to go there. The nano's available. The Dynasty's been taken down. And now we're looking at the touch. Oh, the contest is able to come through, but will it be enough? Just 90 centimeters separating them from the win here. The nano boost does get committed. Super Gomez barely not dying. Does get shut down eventually here, despite the rally getting popped up. And it looks like Timeless Obsidian has the chance to actually finally win this fight, move on to the map. The seconds are counting down. They're going to have to go for the touch. The backline, though, is readily available. Nate not going to connect. just yet as they're going to be able to keep up Dynasty. The pressure is on. They do stay in the frame, but Kurova goes down. The ring contest is underway. Traded out for Luca. They do drop their tech already. The shots are hitting. Jesus fingers utmost, but the Primal gets popped up. Super Gomez has no intention to surrender a single meter, a single inch, a single centimeter, but he will be slept. He will be punched out, and at long last, Timeless Obsidian climbed that hill and they clawed their way to second point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're AbsiBust, you would have loved to win that fight. That would have been the series win and the reverse sweep for you. But Timeless, they had built up the resources just in the nick of time to sort of use them against AbsiBust. They had that nano. They had the rally at one point. They used the blade to their advantage to get the pressure out as well. Luca can even pick up Ryan Amazing. Luke both go down. The DPS now faltering because that AbsiBust. Dynasty sure is traded out, but it's still going to be a backwards swing here for AbsiBust. I say that, but the monkey on side of Super Goma is showing up big here.
I mean, it's a 3-for-3 exchange. It's really a 2 against 2 at this point. And if you have a support with you, then, you know, that Tracer's not going to be able to follow up onto that high ground. Luca now shut down against Sloth under pressure. Does have to disengage. Still gets caught out by Gomez here on the back of that cheeky little shot we're talking about. A minute and 30 seconds. That Nano's going to become available. You're going to have the Primal and the Stick on the side of Timeless Obsidian. Then again, you're also going to have DPS ults as well as a rally for AbsiBust here. And Gomez has been known to build that Primal quite speedily.
Lukewarm, not able to find anything on the pulse bomb once again. You're really just trying to throw these out here as a Tracer. Sure, you want to find the value, but to build them or to lose them, that's the trade here. Luca looking for this high ground pressure, has rally available to him, and the Nano comes through, but not the blade necessarily. Lukewarm trying to pick up 2 bullets, down. Popping off like a mad lad. Dynasty's able to take out Ryan Amazing, who pulled out the blade actually. Super Gomez able to trade it out regardless, take avenge for the loss of the Genji blade. And now we're looking at the last 50 seconds here where
Ryan Amazing never dies when he blades.
Who said that? Not me. Don't worry about it. Anyway, just look at how Lukewarm's popping off on the Tracer again, though. I mean, he just got the backline starting out that fight, killed both of them. Absolutely insane Getsu there, collaborating with Super Gomez. Look at him. He gets Santa. He does have that Primal available to go with. In the meantime, they are trying to prevent that cap from coming through. Primal now popped up in the backline in an attempt to try and shut somebody down here. Not entirely sure. Probably going to try to juggle, keep to the best of his ability. Obviously not going to be that easily available. Lukewarm still going to try to contest the point here. Does drop down to 16 HP. Will barely be able to be kept alive. However, even that health pool will run out eventually. Keith here shutting down Ryan Amazing with the DPS line already evaporated. It looks like third pick comes through. And Sloth thinks, you know what? Honestly, if Lukewarm can do it, so can I. And just like that, with another harrowingly close, several second time bank, Timeless Obsidian move on to third point.
Okay, this is Escort. We know these maps can go on forever. Will it be the case tonight? No, I'm gonna be down for it regardless of whatever happens. We always love a close match, but this is looking a little bit poetic here from this side of AbsiBust in not the greatest of fashion. Both times, Timeless was able to capture the point. It was down in the very last few seconds, and due to a miscalculation, I guess I should say, from AbsiBust.
5 ults.
They sure do. Both teams have a lot of ultimates available to them. The Nano comes through, gets put down inside the Dynasty. The Nano blade gets clipped down. Now only 3 ultimates available for the side of Timeless as both of ultimates get used inside of AbsiBust to stabilize this one out. Sure, it was expensive to hold on for AbsiBust, but what an absolute W there as Dynasty, as Lukewarm was able to pull out Ryan Amazing, staying alive for as long as possible. Lukewarm now over that Soldier once again. 30 seconds remaining. The Primal is available here for the side of Luca.
I mean, this is do or die. This might just be last fight territory. I mean, as the timer ticks down, it's just going to take that much time to force that decision out already. Gomez now going to have to disengage. The pressure's on neutral, going to go down already. The Primal does get popped up here in an attempt to find some additional value. Luca going to dive right into the backline here in order to wear down Lukewarm, kick him in the spawn, whatever it takes to get him down. We'll be able to find the elimination, and now the part progresses so close, and it will be able to complete as well. And we're going into a completely new round.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically reset, right? Both teams getting their time available to them. 1:12 versus 1 minute. I mean, how close do you want it to be, right? Now, the one thing I do want to keep reiterating, AbsiBust, in the first two maps, we saw that Timeless were just able to maintain their ultimates better. They were able to get more value out of them, and I feel like AbsiBust are finding themselves in that struggle again. Could this be where they sort of run into the same issues they were having those first two maps? Not finding the value in the ultimates, not maintaining a healthy economy, and allowing Timeless to sort of find the tools and win the fights cheaply enough to pressure out AbsiBust. We'll have to wait and see as they get another round to attack.
nerves have to be strained so thinly right now. We're talking about like as thin as a hair about to snap. I mean, there can be no room for error here. We're talking about 1 minute to a minute and 12 seconds on the 5th map of the series after completing the entire map once. Everything, and I am not exaggerating, everything banks on this 1 minute push for each of these teams. You either have nerves to seal or you're an absolute wreck right now. We're gonna see who's gonna be which one of those.
Okay, nice dive there from Zeta Super Gomez. Luca is forced off that initial high ground, but it is going to be a little bit disengaged to keep the enemies, to keep their backline alive. Lukewarm on this Hanzo, we saw them pop off on him initially. Could find some value, but they do get anti-nated out in the pressure from the backline there. Dynasty losing it back. But look at that huge anti-nated finding 3. Oh my goodness, Super Gomez able to find the pressure required. Super Gomez does get down low, but will be able to retreat. And now that Unread is down, you're going to be looking at less healing available for the side of Timeless. This is absolutely huge. Ryan Amazing does get traded out though by the side of Sloth, and trades are coming in. Okay, eventually AbsRBust will still find their way forward as Timeless is going to be looking to regroup.
I mean, you're going to be willing to take that trade against Unread. I mean, dropping down the Brigitte does make the Ana that much more diveable. So far, Super Gomez just going to stay on that low ground, trying to build some additional ultimate charge. Does go for the high ground here. We'll try to put on the pressure, but again, the pick on the neutral. So absolutely crucial out of Dynasty.
They don't touch.
Look at that, and one by one they fall. An insanely clutch play out of the DPS or Timeless Obsidian. Dynasty and Sloth, the upper and lower jaw shut, and it would seem like the abs are trapped. They're bleeding, but now it remains to be seen whether they're down, but also out.
Yeah, I mean, 1 minute and 12, right? You don't have too much more time than your opponents did. But that was a very, very, very close play from the side of Dynasty. Yes, we had neutral on that Ana looking for those very nice anti-nades, and Super Gomez was able to find the value, but still, Timeless, they played very smart. They played very far back. They allowed...
Oh my god, it's exactly what I was hoping for. Oh, they're gonna play low ground. They're gonna play low ground around Mega. It's no fucking way. Oh my god, they're getting creative. They're gonna get creative. Oh, I fucking love it. Oh my god.
I think this could work really well.
Oh my
I think
god.
this could work really well.
It's the Super Gomez super play. Oh my god, please, yes. Oh my god. Listen, okay? We're not playing favorites here, but this is exactly what I want to see when I'm talking about like a last-second push, a last-second defense. I want to see you come out with this absolutely cheeky decision to be like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna hold Mega. Maybe I'm gonna hold Tunnel. What are you gonna do? You're gonna dive me with your Diva? You're gonna dive me with your Genji? And they're playing on Mega. I love this. Oh my god, there's the scouting. They found them.
This could really work. I mean, this is incredibly dangerous.
They're going straight back to spawn and they're swapping. There's no way Timeless Obsidian are gonna try to take that.
Not with a minute on the clock, and they're gonna be going. They're gonna be almost matching it.
The series is gonna get
May.
Ryan. Oh, it's not Ryan versus Ryan. Oh my god.
No. Dynasty's back on the May. Dynasty's back on that May.
They don't have a Lucio though for the speed boost, so they are confined to the low ground. Oh, look at that! Ryan Amazing dropping quite a bit low.
But
okay, the wall goes up. That's fine.
Oh my gosh, Robo goes down. And we're trying to get this available to them, but the Bastion turret is doing so much damage. It's a grind in the corner. They can't get out. The May trying to stop for as long as possible, but no pressure is being alleviated towards Timeless. Super Gomez and Ryan Amazing are down extremely low. Super Gomez does mention the wall. It is not enough to save him, and that will be the collapse. Timeless Obsidian will take the series 3-2 AbsRBust fall at the very last minute.
The reverse sweep denied, and I mean, Timeless Obsidian, they went for the perfect swap. Hats off. I mean, they kept their cool. They instantly knew what to do, how to react. What a cheeky finish to that series. I mean, that was absolutely beautiful. What an insane series of Overwatch. Honestly, you could not have asked for more. Timeless Obsidian clutching it out in the end, and I do have to say they are well-deservedly moving on into the finals, and I don't think we could have asked for a better semi-final. you know that whoever made it to the finals, in this case, Timeless Obsidian, I mean, they're stacked for it. They're ready. They want it. They're hungry. And they've certainly showing that they can go the distance. And even when it gets hot like that, you know, they can keep their cool. And I do think that is probably the most impressive part. Timeless Obsidian showing that they're absolutely adaptive and have insane individual prowess. And just to show that off a little bit more and see maybe how much personal prowess they have as well, we're going to bring somebody in for an interview.
Yeah, and just to close things out, I mean, that was an incredible series there. Abs or Bust, they nearly pulled that one back. The DPS were going absolutely insane, but Timeless, they said, no, we know where we're at. We know we've been under pressure like this. We know how to perform in these type moments. And they clutched it up. They really pulled it back on Abs or Bust. Got really, really, really close. Just had a little bit of better ultimate management on from what I could see. They were able to maintain their momentum a little bit stronger, and were able to pull this one back from being a near reverse sweep. I mean, it's got to be emotional for both sides. It's got to be an incredible victory as now Timeless are going to be staring at the grand finals. But we're going to go into a little bit of a break. Don't go away. We'll be back for an interview and then the second match of the semifinals.
welcome back, and please introduce the illustrious, the much beloved DPS from the backline. It's AJMR themselves. Please give a standing ovation to the glorious victors of the semifinals. Congratulations. And I mean, just the first question I want to know, what was going on in your voice chat towards the end of that final map?
I was screaming a lot because on Gibraltar, I literally didn't miss a single cooldown the entire map. Like, I have never played a better Ana in my entire life. I ended the map with like 3,000 more damage than neutral with like the same healing too. I was just hard flex support gapping the entire series and it wasn't even close. I think neutral is terrible.
Holy! Oh, goddamn!
Or rather,
you
I know
neutral
he's terrible because he's lost to
personally?
me. No, he has beef with me. He thinks I'm shit, and I know he's shit because he's just lost to me.
God damn. Well, I mean,
Going
that's
uncovering
a
some
spicy
dirt.
announcement. Oh, and then you're gonna take a fucking pull of the thing.
Okay,
All right.
my guy is flexing
I
and
see
chill.
how it is.
Okay,
I see
all
how it
right.
is.
So let me pull this one back a little bit then, because I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you guys started off incredibly strong in the series, 2-0, and it was looking quite dominant on your end. But Abs or Bust, they pulled it back in the later two maps. Was there a sort of mood shift? What was the sort of vibe going in? What was the difference between the first half and the second half of the series?
Well, okay, the first two maps, well, my team could not find a warm-up scrim, so that was like, we were warming up. I have no idea how the fuck we won those. The next two maps, I think we were getting nervous to close out the series because going into this match, there were a lot of players in the enemy team that are historically done pretty well on Path to Pro. So on paper, it's kind of a scary matchup, but we knew that we'd go into this winning. But some of our players do have issues with nerves, me included sometimes. So those two maps that we lost are really just us getting in our own heads and letting the enemy team capitalize off of it.
All right, fair enough. And I see that clearly you've got some spicy dirt here in the contenders level scene. I can feel it seeing the screen. So I have to ask, is there anybody that you're looking forward to fighting in the grand finals? You had Citrus and on as potential opponents as we go into the next match of semifinals. Is there anyone you're really looking out for? Any team you hope to be facing in said grand finals?
I don't care who I play against because I know I'm gonna win.
All right, I can't deny what the chat answers. All right, that'll summarize it up. All right, cool.
All right,
I
well,
respect the unwavering poise.
Unbreakable, quite frankly. I mean, just an interest. I mean, so we've seen that a couple of times out of your team. You did already say that you guys are, sort of getting into your own heads, getting nervous and closing out the series. We did see that. Your matches do actually get insanely close. I mean, we're talking about 5 maps on this one, 5 maps on the last one. How'd you guys feel about that? Is that just something you guys take with the way it's going, or is that something you're looking to change? And in the finals, we're looking at the the clear-cut 4-0 or something like that.
I mean, okay, this is sort of something that my team's had a problem with. Like, historically, even going back like a couple months when we played Dive Party, we just had these like insanely close series versus teams that we theoretically probably shouldn't have been very close versus, just because we'd end up having nerves get to us. Honestly, something that's been helping me a lot, like personally, whenever I find that nerves are getting to me, I just deafen and listen to music for 5 minutes, and then I'm just completely in the zone.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Are you doing that mid-match?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Every pod break, I just deafen and listen to music. I have like 3 songs that I listen to hype myself up. And then also
if you had to pick one, which one would be the one song that you're advising to any aspiring flex support player?
Absolute Horror by The Virus and Antidote. It's a rap song, and I've listened to it every single time I've had a close series, and I've never lost after listening to it.
Well, I guess that sounds like a hot contender for the final songs then as well. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, HMR. We're really looking forward to see you face off in the finals as well, and we're looking forward to some more amazing performances on whether the Baptiste or the Ana. I mean, you guys are quite flexible, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed your games today, and good luck going forward.
All right. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Welcome back after an insane series. Citrus versus Yeah, exactly. O versus O, not quite up there just yet. We're going to have to talk a little bit faster because Echo has told us we have a very limited time frame in order to explain to you what's going to happen in this matchup. Now, let's hop right over to Citrus. Let's get this going a little bit quicker. Yeah, let's check out what we got for you. So you already have seen Citrus on this stream before several times. Citrus, of course, you do have Zab on that, Orisa, Sigma, Junker Queen, Zarya. Really, whatever you want him to do, he will do it for you. Danny and Ultimate Web own those two. He has some of the most flexible players, honest to God. Like, some of the most flexible players you're going to see. Both of those average, like, 4 different characters per match. Absolutely incredible. Zadman, the one person that's the exact polar opposite of them, actually has never been seen on anything but the Baptiste. He could actually be Baptiste himself. We wouldn't know the difference. That said, Zolik this time jumping in as well instead of Appenine. Appenine last time around was actually the manager popping in for Citrus in order to allow them to play because they did actually lack both of their alternative support players. So in that sense, well, he did come in. They still managed to clutch things out. They still managed to win against Pristine Guardians, and consequently, Citrus looking really, really good, really strong coming into this matchup with now their actual support lineup. That said, let's hop right over onto the other team. You know him, you love him. It's
Yeah.
Naturally, you know, there's a lot to talk about, and quite frankly, I do think it would be best if a smart man like Merp's gonna fill you in.
Well, I appreciate the handoff, good sir. Was actually first seen, I believe, against Abs or Bust, at least for me and Cofindus, and they were honestly one of the most memorable teams. I still remember each and every single one of these players. Cyber impressed me greatly on that Sigma. We see him as well. Putter on the Sim, Amy on the Genji. This team was incredible. They played absolutely out of their minds. I believe it ended up being Abs or Bust victory, but now they're meeting each other here on the semifinals, fighting against Citrus, who I have yet to meet the pleasure of. But I'm sure Han is going to have plenty of talent, plenty of firepower, plenty of teamwork to sort of pull this one through. Otherwise, how would they have made it to the finals? How would they have gone 3-1 against Shikigami, another formidable team in the quarterfinals? They are here, they are ready to play, and they are ready to rumble. So, with that being said, we're going to be swinging right into the game. And really getting underway here with the Citrus versus Han. We're going to be starting on Ilios for our control map.
I mean, it was certainly going to be an interesting map pick, to say the very least. Obviously, both of these teams are pretty flexible. We haven't really seen the dive out of Citrus, at least I personally haven't. That said, we are looking, again, maybe at some more of those Sigma compositions that we did actually just get to witness in our very illustrious match of Timeless Obsidian versus Abs or Bust. So we could be looking at some similar stuff here. Obviously, we did see quite a bit of Bastion play coming through as well from both Ultimate Web as well as Danny, which again is a little bit of a consistency across Citrus. The DPS are really, really flexible, so they might be swapping around here quite a bit in order to adjust to what we're going to see. It's going to be quite interesting to see as well if they're going to opt to stick with something stationary like the Bastion, or if we're going to see the return of a little bit more flexible, a little bit more flanky DPS like the Tracer, the Genji, or maybe even the Soldier.
Yeah, and I think when I can remember of Han playing that Sigma composition, I think it's going to be very interesting to see if they go for that Sigma Bastion that we saw. You know, typically you'd run the Orisa Bastion, typically you'd play a little bit more sort of brawl style with it, but we've seen that Sigma Bastion come out recently, and we know that Cyber is a very, very, very good Sigma. We know that they're comfortable playing that Sigma composition, so I expect them to be sort of playing that sort of that poke with the Sigma. I expect them to sort of be playing the Sigma comps that we've been seeing constantly throughout this night, and it'll be interesting to see with the flexibility of Citrus that I have yet to witness how exactly Han is going to respond. Now, as I mentioned before, they are plenty flexible themselves. I just know that they are most comfortable on that Sigma composition, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it opening up here even in Ilios. Yeah, that'll basically be it when it comes down to it. And then, of course, you know, whoever wins this map obviously gonna be up on the foothold, right? You're gonna be on the upper end of the fight. You're gonna be looking towards a greater advantage in the rest of the series. Now, we've had some wild things happen recently in these games, and I believe last year, if you guys haven't got a chance to go watch it, go watch Abs versus Timeless Obsidian. That was absolutely bananas.
absolutely bananas indeed. What I'm really looking forward to about the series, though, is going to be the prospects moving forward, because it does mean that we just saw the top echelon of Group C defeat the second place of Group D, and now it's the first place of Group D versus the it's actually the first place of Group D versus the first place of Group C. Either way, I'm a little bit surprised that they did manage to do that. So we're going to hop right into the match and let's see what exactly these guys got in store for us. Let's have a little bit of a look. It would seem like we're already well underway. Look at that, the Orisa getting run here by Citrus with actually on the Winston, interestingly enough. It does look like Amy's actually going to be popping up onto that Echo as well. So, again, much more sort of mobile team composition getting run here so far, though. Citrus looking like they're firmly in charge.
Yeah, look at that. The Genji on the side of Citrus already picking up 2, and now they're going to be holding on to the point here first. We talk about ultimate charge. It's actually looking pretty even amongst the board, but of course Citrus, being the victors of that previous fight, are going to have the advantage. But look at that. The Bastion already goes down before the fight's even able to start. Proto's able to take down Danny, and that's going to allow Han to just press forward without too much fear of the damage output of Citrus. They will be sort of backline hunting as Amy's actually, as Z-Man's actually going to pick out Amy. 40% climbing here for the side of Citrus as Han. They're playing a little bit split, but they are applying the pressure needed. Putter's able to take out Zeb, and Citrus will eventually fall here slowly but surely.
I'm really interested by Cyber's actually D.Va pick here. I'm quite interested to see if that was actually an intention as a counter to Danny's Bastion. Then again, Danny has actually swapped off of that. Look at that pressure though. Putter trying to find the pick on the Z-Man. Will not be able to find it just yet though, as the pressure continues to mount. So far though, Zeb just gonna move right in. Barely does not connect the javelin there, trying to put Putter off the map. So far though, looking really dominant for Citrus as they're pretty much kept on the run actually. Not really looking like they've found their way into the matchup just yet.
No, 75% and counting over to Citrus, and Ha hasn't really even gotten a pick, I don't think. Or if they did, it wasn't really capitalized on to win the fight. 85% now as we're getting the last fight. Amy has the duplication, and still Kiwi has the rally available to them in just a minute, but the blade comes through first. Will the blade come through? Will the pick be found before the rally is able to be activated? It will indeed, and now no sports online for the side of Ha. This fight going completely the way of Citrus as we open up the series here. They're gonna take this. They're gonna take it 1-0 as we move on to the second control point.
No, there's still a little bit of contestation going on. I mean, they're giving their best shot. Look at that duplicate coming through just to stall that extra little bit of time off the clock here with the return of the rest of Han. They are a very mobile team composition. Consequently, they can make it back to get in there. Look at the rally get committed to Sticky as well. Will not be able to find a pick just yet. The Amphill coming through, but it looks like Danny has been taken down on the back of the rip shot by Still. Very nice pickup coming there from the back of the break. Needs as once more. We're going to see Putter put himself into the enemy backline, trying to get that finally a pickup. That's barely not going to be going down here just yet as the field does come through. Amy's still trying to create that additional pressure. While Self-Destruct does manage to shut him down. However, with the Lucia out of the picture, at long last, that point flip is going to go the way of Ha.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting it there. It was just stragglers inside the hunt, but the rally comes in for the side is still Killy, allowing the limited members of Hunt to sustain themselves and find the time required for them to come back in full force, find the picks they need in order to take the point back and win the fight. Citrus going to come back really quickly though, as they were able to disengage quite nicely, but they are down their Lucio already, and look at this, Amy on that Echo doing out so much damage. Putter also chasing it down, so Z-Man falls, and that's 2 picks now for the side of Citrus. However,
about to be one more, imagine. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Zapia does get run down. Cyber actually able to find the double, just going to feed a little bit additional healing there for the rest of the team. Proto just going to charge up towards another one of those nano boosts. So those dives by Ha have actually really come to fruition now, getting back into that backline and trying to create some additional pressure. Still, the ultimate pools are gradually racking up, and Citrus are certainly not looking bad coming up into these next fights, because quite frankly, they only need to win one more.
Yeah, absolutely. 60% in climbing here. Citrus have 4 ultimates online. They have so much ability to pressure out on here. Amp Matrix does go down. The DPS pressure isn't going to go through. The Terror Surge able to pick off Proto, and now that's you only have Still Kiwi on the brig to keep you alive. It is going to be a little bit sufficient, but the DPS pressure is certainly going the way of Citrus at this point. The Duplication Matrix able to pick up the enemy Baptiste, interestingly enough, and the Samurai comes in beside of Citrus to maintain their pressure here. Now every ultimate used by Citrus to win this fight. Still Kiwi does eventually fall. Support's not available from the side of Hana's. Damage is now permanent. Amp Matrix comes in from the side of Hana on Amy's duplication, but it's just not enough. The picks are coming in for the side of Citrus, and it is going to go their way unless Hana pulls out another miracle. Overtime taking down. The stall is there from the side of Amy to sort of poke at the point. Pressure coming through. They will eventually get picked off. Overtime is ticking down, and that will be it. Citrus will take the first point here.
Citrus do take the first point, and I do have to say convincingly so. However, I did really like how Ha managed to bring it back across the board. Initially, they really struggled finding their way into the matchup, but they were able to adapt accordingly. And if we've learned one thing over the course of the series, then it is that adaptation is a key. Now, I did actually really like Amy's duplicate over onto Zedman's Baptiste, especially since Proto did get taken down early into the fight, meant that you were lacking that additional healing. And bringing the Baptiste into the fray, you do bring with yourself the amp heal, actually, the self heal, which is incredibly powerful in order to bring back up low HP characters, as well as, of course, the immortality field, and consequently the amp matrix as well. So there's quite a lot of value to be had out of a Baptiste, especially if you know how to aim, which Amy has certainly proven time and time again he is more than capable of.
Now we're going to be seeing both teams going here, as you mentioned. Citrus, and we're looking at JQ now. This sort of rush out coming in, but we're looking to pressure out that Sigma team of Cyber, who we know has been incredible on that Sigma. The May Ice Block already forced out. Could be a little bit of extra pressure on the putter there. Citrus not able to find too much, and the Rock is actually going to stop them in their tracks, going to allow Amy to pick them off. Tanks now traded out on both sides, and Citrus actually going to be the first one to get the point cap, despite the constant pressure from Ha.
Yeah, Cyber a little bit overextended there on the, unfortunately not really able to be covered by the entirety of his shield, does end up getting taken down, and consequently that's a bit of a rough spot. Very interesting too to see that May ending up getting played by Ha here, so apparently a much more commonplace pick than initially predicted. This seemed to work out particularly well though. So far though, again, Citrus being able to hold that additional space to their own advantage. Looks like that might be maybe an opening for Ultimate Web. Oh, gradually building, and that could just be what you're looking for. Amy already taken down. It's going to make it all the easier to get your way in there. Ultimate Web now shutting down Footer, and just like that, the chase is on. Will be attempting to chase right back into the rest of the team, but still keep popping up the speed amp, and it will not be caught.
Yeah, Citrus looking very, very strong here. We're going to be looking at 50% in climbing. They're able to maintain pressure, and they're able to use their mechanical prowess to find the picks where Hana's maybe not expecting them. Sound barriers are traded. Citrus uses their second, so Hana's forced to retreat, not able to play aggressive on their own sound barrier, and just to keep Cyber alive. Cyber has the flux, could be looking for something here. The rock does come through. The flux in response to the Record doesn't pick up anything. The Genji's actually found on the way to the backline dive. Blade came through, but they weren't able to find any value from it, and Ha might use that to pull us one back. Citrus get the point put back. Apparently got reversed at some point. And
I mean, they're trying to get a little bit more aggressive, but look at them go already. We hear the Rampage in the backline. Massive value on the back of those absolutely gargantuan anti-solar rock connect, but Cyber unfortunately not able to replicate the absolutely massive value that we've seen just come through on the back of Zeb. Make that a quadruple, quite frankly. The Jungle Queen certainly feasting well tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm noticing that necessarily. Oh, nice pick onto Still Kiwi without the Lucio speed boost. You're gonna be struggling to make it to point. You're gonna be using resources just to get there. Ame does get picked off. Overtime is ticking down. That is just enough to touch just a little bit from Ha. Can they pull the miracle back like they did on the first point? Can they find six required to make it through? Overtime continues ticking down, and Citrus take Ilios with honestly what looked like a pretty dominant performance.
Citrus looked incredibly comfortable playing that, and again, whatever they were playing on. I mean, the Orisa worked out tremendously for them. The Junker Queen, I mean, you're about to witness the play of the game. A very handy quadruple kill on the back of an absolutely gargantuan rampage. Look at that, just cuts right through there and gets one after another, just absolutely unstoppable there. Just great coordination across the board out of Citrus, and now we're truly seeing that potential, you know? Like, Citrus, they weren't even necessarily struggling against pristine Guardians in the quarters, but again, it wasn't as clear cut. They went 3-1 in the end, and there were some slightly harder parts to it. But again, that was with their manager actually playing. Now they brought in Zolik, and quite frankly, they do seem absolutely unstoppable. The engages are clean, the value is there, and honestly, whenever it seems like Ha is able to find a pick, Citrus will find two just to make up for it.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like, especially in that ruins map, that anytime Hunt got the value, as you said, it just Citrus was able to find more. So I did like the fact that Cyberon Hunt used the rock to sort of juggle out Zeb, got a whole lot of value out of him, but it just wasn't enough. Citrus, they were just rushing down Hunt. I felt like Hunt was being forced to play back so much, and even whenever they were able to find those picks, and Citrus wasn't able to respond, there wasn't enough space being bought for Hunt, or at least they were scared enough and respecting Citrus enough to not want to press the advantage necessarily as hard as I think a majority of other teams have and would have done so. And I think that was the biggest struggle for them, at least on that ruins map, where we saw get some picks and then not really capitalize on it, not really ever get the point flip. I mean, they had 6% on that map despite winning a team, or getting close at least to winning a team fight.
Oh, getting close, unfortunately, is not quite the same thing as winning it.
Yeah, I
However,
mean, that's true.
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Well, we're going to be going on to Midtown. We have seen quite a lot of Midtown on the B stream. Quite frankly, the A stream is a little bit more in love with Numbani, but of course, we're Midtown boys, so we're going to see just how well that's going to go down. Ha do have quite a bit of experience on this map now. It is a map that does lend itself to long sidelines. We did see quite a bit of Sigma played here, quite a bit of Sigma Bastion, which isn't really something we've seen out of these teams so far. Certainly a little bit more divey intent so far out of Ha, with Citrus just, sticking to their guns with the Orisa or the Junker Queen, being really, real comfortable in those brawl compositions.
Yeah, I mean, and realistically, I don't know. I need to see a little bit more pressure coming up from the side of Han, I think.
Oh,
I
that's
think,
a mirror
yes,
match
they
if I've
have,
ever seen one.
I think yes, they have they have experience, they know this composition, but if we can sort of find the value in our picks and press forward and not be afraid to find the value, or maybe not get so pulled away by the backline pressure that might be getting put on by Citrus from Ultima Web. I don't know. I feel like Han just needs to commit a little bit more to a push. They are going double sniper. They are going that Cyber Sigma. This could be very good for them as they look across that Bastion.
I mean, I'm really interested to see what the playstyle with the Brigitte is here. Usually we have seen the Brigitte played in order to be able to provide some additional packs to an Echo in this specific instance. That could still be in order to support, say, Ultimate Web or Ame on the off angles. However, whether that's going to be possible remains an entirely different question. Look at those rocks getting exchanged. Incredible pressure already mounting onto Zeb here, who's barely being kept alive by his supports. And look at that damage just getting absolutely chunked through so far. Put it more than happy to be back on the Bastion from the looks of it. In the meantime, though, the out rotation has come through, and it would seem like Han going to be moving on to that first point, but Buddha has gone down. Crota will fall as well, with the Cyber and Ame taken down. It is only Kiwi left standing, but they'll still, Kiwi will die still.
Yeah, Danny on that high ground from that Bastion, just absolutely laying in so much damage to the backline of Han. Cyber falls, and then you've got, I believe that was still Kiwi falling as well, behind the bus basically, and that was all she wrote. Not quite able to make it through all the way, not quite able to find you know, they bought themselves some face, but they weren't able to clean up the backline pressure that they were getting. Now Amp Matrix is traded out here. Very nice nade through the Amp, but it's not gonna be able to find too much. Proda able to pick off the enemy Vegeta, and that is going to be supports traded out now from either side. Playing aggressive, they're pushing forward, they're applying all that pressure, getting Citrus down extremely low. Ultimate Wef has the play, but he's down to 1 HP. He's got to play safe. He doesn't manage to get picked off by Putter on that Bastion, and this is now taking control of the point, getting the second hit.
I mean, they're doing the utmost here, and that lockdown does seem rather tight. Look at that Immortality getting popped up. However, holy, they're about to turn it in the blink of an eye. Look at the massive damage just getting put through by the supports. And again, Zolik as well as Zetman just absolutely sprinting through the rest of the team. A two-man goats more than ready to wreak havoc upon Ha.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they were able to pull it back with the support ultimates. They were able to win the fight out. I mean, they have the resources now. They have the barrage bringing through. They're going to be sort of pressuring out the enemy Bastion, who does get down low, but Danny gets self-sustained back on. And look at this once again, splitting apart Zeb away from the backline, but that Bastion doing so much damage. Danny just constantly never being picked, never being pressured out, and allowed to stay alive long enough to find the pressure needed. Ame and Cyber have 2 ultimates available to them, but we're looking at the last minute.
Yeah, I mean, we're also going to see product the Amp Matrix here going to go up against Zebman, and again, of course, a lot of things can happen in these ult-intense fights, especially as we're moving towards the last final minute. Look, that Amp Matrix is not going to get popped up as well. The Rock going to connect here. The deflect, though! Half of that goes on to Putter, and already the double kill, and Zeb comes through. The Amp Matrix goes up, and Ha comes crashing down.
That was a beautiful play from Ultimate Web, using the deflect to just absolutely, I mean, just annihilate, right? The Amp Matrix comes through, you're thinking as that Bastion, you're like, oh, I'm about to eat a tank, I'm about to eat a squishy. No, deflect right back into the face, deleting the backline there. And now Ha once again forced to reset. There's Danny's artillery barrage. Still, Kiwi has the rally available to them to get Ha through this choke point if they're able to do so. 15 seconds.
I mean, they're gonna have to use the rally. They really don't have an option at this point. Rally's gonna pop up. Kiwi's gonna push into the backline, gonna try their utmost in order to get the pick up here. Not able to get in just yet. And even though all of their damage is getting put through, the picks are still being waited on. Look at that aggressive Fragita play, just diving right into the backline, trying to get worn down. That Immortality field, though, absolutely perfectly placed with the elimination already rolling through. And once more, it's looking like Ha is in a tight spot here, trying to stabilize the situation. A pick will follow through, but it's not gonna be enough, and once more it seems like Citrus remain a little too sour for Ha to really get a good bite into.
Yup, and this is going to be, I like that a lot. They're like a cranberry. Anyways, sorry.
Cranberry,
I don't know
citrus? I was not thinking of cranberries.
I mean, okay. Cranberries are sour. Okay, I don't know what else to say. They're not great. They're actually awful. They taste awful. That's my opinion. Just gonna put that out there. But I digress. You have a big task ahead of you, and this is very reminiscent of the series previous, right? I don't think it was quite so one-sided, but it's sort of feeling the same way. Citrus is the timeless in this series, and Ha is reminiscent of oh my goodness, I can't even think right now, of Abs or Bust. And I have to wonder, will Ha be able to pull it back just like Abs or Bust did? Will they be able to swing this one forward? Because Citrus look so dominant. No matter what Ha do, Citrus are always just able to divide the attention of Ha, trying to go on an attack and constantly find the pressure required in order to clean up the fight. It's a big ask. And now you're looking at what is this, a one-tick hold?
I mean, they did get 78%. We're talking 2 ticks and a little bit of additional. So it's not quite the same as getting the entire point, but essentially, if you're gonna get that much, you might as well get the whole point, which of course Ha would have been more than happy to do, but unfortunately we're incapable of, which is mostly down to just how well Citrus are playing. Then again, look at Ame just putting out through some additional damage here, getting that initial spam in to create a little bit of additional pressure. Then again, the question is, how are Citrus going
to rotate, because that front line push didn't really seem to work out for Han in the past. Ultimate Web again gonna go a little low. Look at that aggressive dive though, trying to force out Ame here. Will be able to follow through eventually, but in the meantime on the high ground we're still gonna see Putter hold it down. A little bit of a tight spot there for Zeb to be in. Eventually though, first pick is gonna be able to be forced out. Danny now going down already to Ame, as we're gonna see a rocks exchange, but it seems like it is going to be Cyber that's going to be coming off top of this one. Will be clearing the field, and just like that, we're going to see a beautiful double follow through just as swiftly. Would seem like the chase is still on.
Cyber's going down so deep. He's got the support line to keep himself sustained, and there is a little degress for sure. Putter's able to get the stagger on the ultimate weapon. That's going to buy them a lot of time. And honestly, I'm curious if it was less a Han issue and more of a, this comp is really good at holding down Midtown.
I mean, that is absolutely true. The comp is, of course, really, really good. The question is, how are you going to play around it so far? I've not seen Citrus have a secret answer that we haven't seen out of Like, they're just basically running it down mid and trying to get the advantage here, which, you know, remains to be seen if they're going to be able to do that. However, both teams going to commit the amplification matrix already. First pick now once more going to flow through here. Looks like already Ultimate Web has been taken out of the fight by Putter. As we're going to see a couple of rocks getting exchanged. Very low HP there for Sniper. Just managed to get kept alive, though, at least for the time being. And the blade comes through, and just as quickly, Ame is going to be able to find two, and that might have been just as well with the fight.
Yeah, that rally returned there from Han, keeping Cyber alive just barely enough to buy them the time for Ame to find that blade, to find the pressure out. Still, Kiwi doing a great job of keeping using the ultimate in response. Citrus had to use their ultimates first, and we all know that, you know, you typically want to save your support ultimates for second. You typically want to sustain yourself a little bit longer than your opponent. The artillery barrage coming through now, trying to snuff out Baptiste, not going to be able to do anything, and Han stuck two ultimates of their own.
Putter gonna open things up by ringing the dinner bell. Will he be able to find anything? Not just yet. Ultimate weapon on the backline. Gonna go for the blade with the flux coming through as well. And right there's your picks. And that's all it's gonna take. 3 kills coming through. If you're not gonna win the fight, just throw ultimates at it until it works. And quite frankly, Citrus seem to have mastered that strategy just well.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to touch. Han will, and Citrus will take the map Midtown 2-0 now up in the series, looking very, very, very strong. Han showed a little bit of life there on the defense, but will Citrus continue their rampage?
Oh, look at this, look at this. Here. It's Zolik just running right in there with the rally and killing 3, I'm pretty sure. It's absolutely crazy. Like, it's just the supports getting the picks right there. It actually gives me Goats flashbacks.
Let me help you with that.
Yeah, that's absolutely ballistic. And honestly, a play that very well could have turned the entire fate of that map, right? We had they finally made it through. They finally, you know, laser focused in. They weren't getting picked off in the backline damage from the Bastion. They were 2.5 ticks up on point, and then rally break. What are you gonna do? Rally break. Finds 3, and Citrus are able to hold 2-0.
All right, well, absolutely true. The support's really clutching it out there in an absolutely miraculous last fight. Then again, Haas still looking pretty decent on their own defense. I mean, in the end, they did only break there to the overwhelming pressure of the ultimates getting committed by Citrus. Otherwise, they could have probably held it for almost as long. That said, we're going to be heading into a break and returning to a series that you never know might still turn into an almost reverse sweep 5-map series. Only way you're going to find out is if you're going to be here after the break. See you then.
Atlas Fighters Standoff. Choose your fighter. Cammy Tracer. Choose your fighter. Sakura Kiriko. Choose your fighter. Bison Sigma. Check out all this and more at goatsreviveshop.com.
Round one, fight!
Hello and welcome back, everybody. We have just returned to what is going to be the first map point. I say the first map point because, you know, there might be more, assuming HUD is going to stage their comeback here. Unfortunately, I do not believe my connection has fixed itself. However, that should not impact you all too significantly. That said, you know, we're just waiting for HUD to give us their next map pick. I do believe if I had to go out on a limb, I'd probably say we're going to Saravasa because we have not seen anyone pick New Junk City. But, you know, we might be in for a surprise.
I would be certainly surprised if we didn't have if we weren't seeing Saravasa. It's just excuse me. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, Saravasa just has a lot more solid points. New Junk City is a little strange. We talked about it earlier. The bridge over that one point where it's just like, it's literally a bridge. You've got cargo boxes. You can climb over that bridge. You never play on point. You never do it, and it's just weird. It's weird. You get CC'd off, you lose the fight. It's just strange. So I doubt we're seeing anything with Saravasa. Saravasa, of course, being a beautiful map, if we might say so ourselves, and one of those that is certainly caused quite a few surprises. so far. And I think in every series that we've had, actually. Including one that me and you had the pleasure of casting.
That is absolutely true. I mean, Servasa, of course, being the upset point. I mean, you have to consider it was the upset point for Atlantic Esports, right? From them making their great and final return in the group stage, which, you know, they ended up losing on points, but it's still a glorious moment. And it was honestly the starting ground for Abs or Bust to start what became an honestly almost reverse sweep. I mean, it really did come down to the wire, though we do have to say that Timeless Obsidian did actually do a really, really good job at finishing things off in the end.
Yeah, I mean, of course, as we mentioned before, if you haven't gotten to go back to see that series, you definitely should once this vlog gets posted. But we're going to be heading into Servasa. This is where they need to stake their name. If they want to make it to the grand finals to fight Timeless Obsidian, this is where they're going to have to make the turnaround. They cannot lose this map. Of course, it's first to 3 points, with points loading about 60% faster than typical control points. It's gonna be a rough ride. It's gonna be a wild one. It's gonna be a long one for the side of If Citrus are able to keep up the pressure and they're able to continue splitting the attention of and forcing them to not play quite as a team, we could see this become a 3-0 shutout. Of course, they still have a lifeline to hold on to, and that is what we're gonna be seeing coming right up.
I mean, Citrus, they certainly have looked very, very dominant so far, extremely comfortable with what they have been playing. Zep bringing the Junker Queen back again with Zolik. Maybe doing a little bit of trolling, you know, on that Moira. Probably just going to opt for one of the classics, you know, like the Lucio. Obviously, that is something we see quite consistently. As for they are bringing Putter back on the Mei. Oh, they're just going to run the two tanks. Yeah, I mean, double shield, that will probably solve that issue for you, I do so imagine. And, oh, okay. Well, apparently that is... going to award a restart. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but apparently playing double tank is not acceptable around these parts.
No, it tends to not be. You know, it's been a little while. Actually, just about a year ago, I think, a year and a day, if I'm not mistaken. Sometime in October 2022, Overwatch 2 was released, and there went the life of the duo tank, the Ryan Zarya, Ryan Diva, you know, the classic ones, the ones that I totally don't miss the Reinhardt player. But I digress. Not the correct competitive settings, and so we will be getting a map reset, and the match is just on a slight delay.
I mean, it certainly would have been quite the different tournament if we found out it was actually open queue. Now, you imagine that if for the finals we discover you could have just picked whatever you wanted this entire time, and you're just gonna go up with 4 Reinhardts and a Lucio, and we're gonna see what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, that would be interesting to see for sure. Citrus, sort of still deciding. I'm curious to see if they're going to continue to go on that Junker Queen composition we saw initially, if they're going to stick to the Zarya, which is not a typical tank pick, not, at least not from what we've seen the past couple of nights. It looks like they indeed will stick with it. I'm curious, considering how good that Junker Queen had done at running down this Sigma composition, what exactly they're planning.
I mean, obviously Zeb with the bubbles does have some capacity to provide a little bit more appeal to Ultimate Web moving in aggressively, especially considering that as the Genji on the off angle, you're a little bit struggling for healing, so there is some additional leeway to be utilized there. At the same time, of course, they're also not aware of which team composition are going to be choosing to run going into this. Still, that's an aggressive positioning, and that grasp is not going to help you against the Zarya. Still looks like Zedman is going to be the first one to fall. Just as swiftly, that might mean that Citrus are going to have to scramble for a counter pick here unless they do manage to make the disengage, which quite frankly they do not.
Yeah, no they don't. Zeb is going to fall. is going to take the first point capture, and, well, may history repeat itself, I should say. It is a little early to call. It's only at 30% on the first point, but Ultimates are still stacking up the way of considering that they won that first team fight. And it could be a little interesting turn of events. We're going to be looking at Proto with an Ant Matrix already available now.
Yeah, usually we do see these popped up really quickly and really early, just in order to get that value, get that over-rotation going. Ultimate Web instantly shut down by Proto as well. Very nice pick coming through here onto the Genji already. Will mean that Citrus are in a tight spot. Look at them go! Cyber runs right through 7 with 2 picks gone. And honestly, the stall pick coming through as well. That might have just been it for this point.
Yep, now we're at 90% and counting, and that, yeah, like you said, might just be it. Citrus not really gonna go in for contestant, huh? Now up 1-0, in this map. Could be looking at the second point here. They still have the ultimate advantage even.
I know what you're thinking, but I need you not to say it.
Okay,
Your curses have
sorry.
been very powerful tonight, and we gotta be careful. Oh, Danny!
I'm not gonna win.
The snipe, takes him right down. Look at that beautiful opener. Does get counterpicked though. But look at that, the blade pops up. Ultimate Web goes in super threat. The Blizzard getting committed as a defensive ultimate alongside that beam. However, the pick does come through on the Zolik eventually now with that additional beam, just trying to put the pressure onto a rather unfortunate Ultimate Web. Blue's going to have to disengage at least for the time being. While not going to move up though, Zep does get himself caught out here. We'll try to somehow establish sidelines through this point zone. Kept alive in the meantime, the Pona has been shut down, and the retaliatory picks are coming through. Citrus able to pull this one out of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, it looked really good there for Ha. They responded great. They had every advantage going towards them. They threw out the Blizzard, which wasn't able to find all too much value. I think it was just there to really shut down the Genji blade, as well as the Sound Barrier use as well. Ha does eventually fall due to the pressure that came out from Ultimate Weapon. Now they do maintain control. The Flux is there. It's able to find at least one, make that 2. One time it's going to be there to keep them sustained for just a little bit longer as that burst is used. Ha have 2 DPS ultimates online, but we have Zeb going up towards the rampage. Gammy does fall though. Another great pick off from Amy.
Ame again doing a tremendous job there on the Sojourn. Does get chased down. Humongous rampage moving right into the rest of the team. And that ice block has been expended. And just as quickly, Putter will lose his life as well. Still though, they're holding on for dear life. Cypher here getting a little bit of additional damage. That buff does not quite connect yet. However, the pressure on Zep is still progressing. Looks like a little bit of that additional damage is chunking through. So far, Danny not able to find that crucial pick. And really, it seems like Han just happy to stay on that point. However, the rest of the team returns. He gets dropped. And what? The overclock comes through. Under's going half, finds the double. Make that a triple. Well, not quite a triple just yet. But again, on the back of a, in the end, rather expensive fight, are going to retain control.
Abe going kind of crazy this map. I don't know, man. I'm going to keep knocking on wood so I don't spoil it too much. But I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking?
There has been another DPS player that managed to kind of pop off and go almost into what could be considered an irrational series of map moves. Well, you know, we've all heard of things like that before, but I don't think we'd ever seen them. Oh, the blade's gonna get popped up though. It's gonna try to find some additional value here. Carves right through it. Will not be able to actually take anybody down just yet though. That Deep-like gonna be able to keep him alive. Still, it looks like Cyber is gonna have that Flux available. Putter coming relatively close towards that Blizzard as well. Still, we're gonna Cyber's gonna have to go aggressively onto that point. We'll have to be careful as already the Maywall has been eroded. The Flux now gonna get committed as well. So far, Zetman doing his utmost in order to keep the rest of the team alive. Will do a great job at that as well as with the Immortality Field having been expended. The carnage is real and just as swiftly is the Retribution. And it would seem Citrus are going to equalize 1-for-1.
All right, so we're going on the third point. Not quite as planned via universe bending rules, but maybe I jinxed it once again. And regardless, Prodat still has this amplification matrix. Zolik has the sound barrier to respond though, and I'm sure with this sort of rush style that Citrus is running here with this Tracer Genji Junker Queen, they're gonna use that sound barrier aggressively as soon as they get the chance to respawn. Now swapping over to the Reinhardt. Cyber now gonna be looking to adapt, and they're actually gonna pick up the Zolik. They're not gonna have that sound barrier available to them, and they're gonna get point control.
I mean, look at just how beefy Han's composition is looking now. They're running that Reinhardt, they're running that Bastion May. I mean, that's a really, really tough space to try and engage for Zeb here. Just gets swapped down, and again, oh, Ame does go initially down to the Sticky. However, Danny's still going to be able to find him eventually, will be able to find that double kill, so really good value on the back of Citrus's Tracer there. Still, though, eventually will get picked up. Now we're going to see the rest of Han just getting sped back by Kiwi in order to regroup with the team and brace for that next assault.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see Cyber, you know, the good thing with this pick swap over from Cyber onto the Reinhardt is they're able to just sustain for just a little bit longer. The Sound Barrier comes through from both sides, actually. It gets traded out. Damage comes through. Citrus gets laid down with a Shatter. Very nice follow-up with a Blade to answer. Ultimate Weapon finds two. Cyber and Putter both go down, and the remaining stragglers on the side of Han do eventually collapse up to 85% now and counting. But Citrus have the point, and they've got ultimates climbing up.
They do have ultimates climbing up. We're looking at actually not a bad amount of ult progress for Ame and Proto as well, though Proto is certainly going to build that ultimate charge incredibly quickly. Same going for Zedman. Baptiste, of course, very prone to having an insane amount of ultimate charge gained. At the same time, though, Immortality Field can be forced out, and then Zeb is absolutely going to reign supreme with those lethal carnages or rampages that we have seen so far in this matchup. So going to be more than happy to go for some aggressive engagement. The question is, what plan do Han have at their disposal in order to try and deal with that as they move on to point?
There we go, the Ant Matrix does come out from the side of Citrus, and the damage does come through the Immortality Field. They're forced out from the side of Han to keep Cyber alive, who is going to disengage enough and use that Bastion pressure to put out enough fear.
What a charge! Are you kidding me?
Z-Man goes down, and that was a beautiful charge there from the side of Cyber, who, you know, tried to trade it out. There's another one. Fantastic. The JQ gets down low, doesn't want to get picked, and as long as, you know, the Reinhardt continue playing aggressive like this, we might see a turn of events. Now we're going to be seeing overtime is sticking down for the side of Citrus, but that will be Cyber going down eventually from the back line of Citrus, who are playing out of their minds, if I'm going to be honest with you. The Lucios get traded out. Overtime is sticking down. The barrage to stall it out for as long as possible. Danny's going to take out Proto. The Maid there to stay alive as long as possible. What a nice snipe there from that of Putter. Putter does eventually go down. It's straight left, right, overtime is sticking down. That will be Citrus taking the third point.
I mean, that was really so down to the wire. Incredible if they had held on there for just a few more seconds. That Blizzard could have absolutely turned that one around. Still, incredible series of events there. I mean, I knew he was called Cyber. I certainly didn't predict that he was going to be magnetic. I mean, those charges have been absolutely incredible. Just reeling in whatever high-value target was required. Picking up Zedman, picking up Zeb. Such crucial eliminations here. However, now we're moving on to quite potentially the match point of the match point. I mean, if Citrus take this one, that's going to be the series.
Look at the momentum for Citrus. So they have 4 ultimates online. The Sticky does come through. It's going to even pick up still Kiwi. The Immortality Field's out there in time. And that's absolutely tragic. The one of the 2 ultimates is Han had available to them. That's Sound Barrier. Not going to be available to them. Cyber will get pressured out here. Only has the Maid to sort of back them up. And Citrus take that fight quick and clean. They have to have 3 ultimates to hold on here.
That is absolutely incredible. They won that on the back of essentially only the Sticky out of Danny, and the man's back to another 40% already. And all the meanwhile, Zeb was able to hold on to that Rampage with Hands of Steel. That Rampage is worth so much. If they can just force counter beat, and then go for the Rampage, that value is going to be absolutely crucial, especially if you use it in conjunction with a Blade. I mean, you don't have that much leeway if you're Han. These points cap pretty quickly, they tick pretty quickly, so consequently, this is actually a really, really tight spot for them.
Shatter available here for the side of Cyber and Soki. We still have the Cyber's actually going to
he does it again.
But Proto does fall. They don't have access to that to the Baptiste. The Shatter gets laid down. Immortality is going to be there to keep the Junker Queen alive, and there is a Sound Barrier going to be sustaining the back of the Danny's able to take out Cyber, who does get caught in that Rampage. Rampage able to pick up 3. Ame going to be able to pick up Z-Man, and trades keep coming in, but Zeb still alive. That Junker Queen and Danny on the Tracer continue to find the pressure. It's 96% counting this last fight. Will anybody be able to touch? Will anybody be able to stall out? No, they won't. And that'll be Han going down 3-0.
I mean, just Citrus is okay. Listen, Citrus is an insane team, but Zeb actually just destroyed it on the Junker Queen. Like, it was absolutely mental the amount of knives he hit in order to get that first Baptiste back. And I mean, look at this rampage. The value was so insane. It just bled to death Cyber. There was nothing to stop him there. Look at the cleave, just takes down one after another. The man does not miss. Like, what do you want to do against that?
Yeah, I mean, a JQ that doesn't miss any cooldowns is absolutely terrifying. The knife pull into the swing. I mean, if you're a squishy, you're just gone. And I think Zeb was just an absolute machine when it came to connecting all of those. Citrus takes the series 3-0 in a dominant fashion, and we're kind of seeing, I think, the reason why they came in as first seed to Timeless's second.
Absolutely. I mean, they did manage to win against Timeless in the past. We did hear from AJMR that Timeless, they have a little bit of a nerve issue. Citrus, they don't seem to be suffering from the same issues. That's all I can say to that. They did seem pretty confident in what they were going to do. The real question is this going to be their final form? Because quite frankly, we've already seen them perform well. Then we saw them now perform with an actual roster. And we're talking about, we're talking about actually a pretty good team going into this. They
Mhm.
did manage to come in first seed in their own setup. We saw a really tight match against Timeless Obsidian from Abs or Bust. And again, Citrus, I do want to say they actually, quite frankly, dismantled there for quite a few parts of those maps. And again, based on so many little factors, whether it be strong individual play, good coordination, excellent alt usage, and economy. I mean, honestly, it was quite impressive. It was quite impressive to witness.
Yeah, I mean, Citrus look absolutely dominant. They're going to be the ones facing off against Obsidian in the grand finals, which we will be casting tomorrow. And that will be an absolute stellar series. I cannot wait to see, because you said also that Citrus beat Timeless. And as might I say, cocky as AJMR seemed from the side of Timeless coming into that
I
interview.
think anything else would not do them justice.
I mean, fair enough, but it was already so it was already just so profound that I think Citrus has a little bit of answer to bite back for. There won't be an interview for this series, but there will sure as hell be a series to watch tomorrow. So don't miss it. Go find us. Any closing thoughts?
I mean, I say there's no closing interview, but I do think that Citrus has said plenty with the gameplay that we were allowed to witness. I'm really excited to see what things are going to look like moving into the finals, because we're looking at what I would have assumed to be the two strongest teams in this series. I mean, I do think that if I had to rank like the top three, I assumed it would have been something like, well, probably Timeless Obsidian, Citrus, and Strix, which I didn't have Citrus on my map at all. I didn't know how excellent they would be in the game, but the moment they beat Timeless Obsidian, that really just tossed them onto the map, and you knew this is a team you're going to have to respect. This is a team you're going to have to look out for. And I mean, while we have seen time and time again that Timeless Obsidian, they have had these problems struggling closing out. While they certainly are an incredible team by a long shot, I do feel like that is an issue and a qualm that Citrus are not going to have, and that if Citrus can actually capitalize on that and exploit the, let's say, nerve of Timeless Obsidian, then that could actually cost Timeless Obsidian the series and consequently the finals.
Uh, that is absolutely true. I mean, if Citrus can keep that level head, if they can play against the nerves, if Timeless falls to their own, right? We could certainly see a show match for the ages coming in the grand finals tomorrow. But that will conclude tonight's matches. And honestly, phenomenal series from both sides. Citrus looked absolutely dominant. Timeless looked incredibly strong. Got a little nervous, pulled it right back to where they had it in the first place, and showed exactly why they were number two. We're going to see number one and number two come in and fight each other, and that's going to be an absolute unit of a series. So I'm just to wrap up tonight. Thank you so much, Confiners, for joining me. My name is Merp, and we will see you guys tomorrow, because you better be there. You better be there. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Atlas Fighters Standoff. Choose your fighter. Cammy Tracer. Choose your fighter. Sakura Kirito. Choose your fighter. Bison Sigma. Check out all this and more at goatsreviveshop.com.